Hi, everybody. Welcome out to the Logroom Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, July the 1st, 2025. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai, once again, eating. How are you, sir?
Good. Chicken wings.
You're eating chicken wings?
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings. Why are you eating chicken wings?
It's International Chicken Wing Day.
Happy International Chicken Wing Day, for those of you that celebrate, of course.
Right now I got a drum mat. I got a flatten here. We'll talk more about that later.
We'll talk more about that later in the show. All right. But happy International Chicken Wing Day nonetheless. So is that the only food day there is today?
Nope.
What else is there, sir?
You know.
All right, fine. I'll do it while you eat.
You.
Happy National Creative Ice Cream Flavor Day.
We should talk about that too.
Maybe we'll talk about that in a little while as well. But happy National. This isn't international. This is national. This is just here. We keep it closer to home.
Yeah.
National Creative Ice Cream Flavor Day. And there you go. And it's also something we will definitely talk about much later in the show. Happy International Reggae Day.
I like reggae.
I like reggae.
You like reggae?
I like reggae.
I like reggae.
There you go.
Not like my son likes reggae.
No. I don't know anybody that actually likes reggae as much as your son likes reggae. Even some reggae artists don't like reggae as much as your son likes reggae.
Yeah, he was talking about. I forget what artist he was talking about. I don't have my phone and check it out, but my fingers are all chickeny right now.
Chickeny, is that a technical term?
It is a technical term. Let me de-chicken my fingers.
De-chicken your fingers.
Who did he say? He was talking about somebody as his favorite reggae artist.
Right.
Let's see. Gregory Isaacs.
Oh, Gregory Isaacs, yes.
That's his favorite.
I do know of Gregory Isaacs.
Yeah, I think he's got some damn good stuff. One of the older guys.
Mm-hmm.
So you like that? That was yummy. It's made with that She Devil spice rub that I make.
I have. It's delicious. It is absolutely freaking delicious.
I've got to make more of that.
You do, and you need to let people know where they can buy it from you.
Well, I've got to get permits.
I'm not saying you're going to let people know what's in it. Obviously, you're not going to do that.
No, that's proprietary. My son, my reggae living son, has actually tried to get the recipe out of me a few times. He's just waiting for me to die now.
I was going to say, because you're going to bequeath that to him. Right?
Yes, that will be in the will that he gets the recipe.
Gotcha. Fair enough. All right. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty.
After those wings and She Devil,
you're gonna have to drink something.
It's only the Chipotle though. It's not the habanero version or I've done Reaper version. So
you've got Reaper. There you go.
No, I didn't do it this time. It's just Chipotle.
Fair enough.
But I've made Reaper. Ooh.
All right. Well, on that note, let's bring our guest on, shall we?
Who do we have tonight?
Tonight we have Mr. Chuck Aaron from Jersey Girl Brewing. How are you, Chuck?
You know that guy.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How is everything up in can we say God's country? I mean, from where we are.
It truly is. It truly is.
You're up there, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not in like Montana or anything, but
the beautiful northwest New Jersey, Mount Olive, Hackettstown area.
Exactly.
Up in hill country.
It is raining outside so bad.
Oh, it's ridiculous down here in down the shore, as they say. It was really it was buckets before.
Yeah.
So and I mean, lightning must have struck really close. I was shocked our power didn't go out. So
yeah, we lost power.
If you happen to see me just go blank and you guys are by yourselves, you'll know why.
Yeah, I've got
suddenly free here.
Just like that. I've got drizzle here in basically New York City's annex. It's really
you got a little drizzle. Yeah, there you go. You got that NYC drizzle. There you go.
Well, no. I think NYC's getting plastered. I think it's just going around us either side.
Most people, a lot of people at this hour of the day get plastered in New York City. So
there's a good reason for that.
There you go.
Speaking of getting plastered, can we open our beers?
Yes, we can. Well, Chuck can tell us what he's drinking because I'm sure he already poured one with that lovely tap room he's sitting in.
I'm already into it.
There you go.
To it today.
What are you drinking first?
Love Potion number 9. I got a wheat beer today. It's a Hefeweizen that we brewed.
Very nice.
Potion number 9. We actually did it for our anniversary, for our 9th anniversary. A few months back. Did really well. It's pineapple Hefeweizen. So we brewed it again and packaged it again. Boy, I got to fix this camera. It just keeps going in and out of zoom. All right, I'm not moving anymore.
We'll just strap you to the chair.
Strap you to the chair, and there you
Mm.
go. All right. Samurai, what are you drinking? As if I didn't know.
I'm drinking the same thing you're drinking.
And what might that be?
This is a Fox Farm Tiddly,
Okay.
English style dark mild. Managed to get the Fox Farm and actually drink in the tap room because I got there during COVID, and you just kind of pulled up and you see there it is. It's right here, just like that.
There you go, just like that.
Twins. And then put the beer in your car, so I never actually got to go in the tap room until just a couple weekends ago. So I had this actually on the beer engine. It's damn good in can too.
Well, it is nitro.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the beer engine is nitro by any means, but
No.
at least it's simulating the mouthfeel a little bit.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Is it creamy? Do you get any of that creaminess out of the
creamy.
nitro?
A little
Oh,
creamy.
yeah.
It looks like it's got a nice foam to it, nice head there. Is it a nitro drip that they put in the can, or is there a device like that?
No, there's no device in it. It's definitely
No. It's just infused in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That looks
really,
good.
really, really gorgeous. I love a good
Color's
dark
good.
mild.
I killed mine because I still have some of the spice on my lips when I taste it, and that just crushed the head.
There you go. That works. But this is fantastic. So thank you, sir, for muling this back.
Actually, everything that John drinks today, I mule back for him.
Because everything I drink today is going to be what he's drinking on the show as well.
Yeah, I wanted to save John some typing for the crawl tonight. I know that his carpal tunnel is acting up a little bit.
It's been a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so, especially when it rains like this, it really starts to bother.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So, always caring, always thinking.
Always, you always have me in your thoughts. I appreciate that. So,
sometimes at the most inopportune times.
not so much. So, I just realized I'm going old Pennsylvania in the wardrobe tonight. I wore a fire department shirt because it is 4th of July. I usually wear fire department garb, if you will. And it's
because it was all firemen that signed the Declaration of Independence.
It was.
Not everyone knows that.
Not everybody knows that. So it's a Pittsburgh fire deparment. And I'm wearing.
I'm surprised you're wearing anything Pittsburgh.
I don't mind Pittsburgh. I think the Mets suck, but that's besides the point. We'll get that. That's another show.
You know what happened when I saw the Mets in Pittsburgh?
I think
Pirates.
you did
The Pirates hit so many damn home runs they actually ran out of fireworks.
Well, it started when Jess and I saw the Mets in Pittsburgh 4 years ago. The Mets were actually up by 4 runs in the 8th inning and lost the game.
No, the Mets lost 9-2, which I think was the same exact score of the first game of the last series.
No, it was 9-1, then 9-2, and then
the second game then.
9-1, 9-2, and then 12-1.
And so, what's your hat then?
The hat is a Big Dog Craft Brewing. It's in Lancaster.
That one is in Lancaster.
Yeah. So,
I'm gone Massachusetts. See, 4th of July, so I did the whole thing. So here it is.
there
And
you
this
go.
is Seven Saws Brewing. There is something that begins with an H. Holden, Massachusetts.
Holden, Massachusetts. There you go.
This was back to another COVID story. It's the first brewery that I actually drank at after the lockdown. They actually had a beer garden and they were pouring outside. And I had gone to Wachusett Mountain, Mount Wachusett, or Mount Watch, something along those lines.
What shoots it? Yeah.
And I
Wachusett, yeah.
climbed up it, realized that most people can drive up it, so there's a shit ton of people up there. So I went back down and then got in the car and I'm driving along and I see banners for a brewery. And one of the banners said open. I'm like, there's an open brewery? I did a Dukes of Hazzard spin, peeled out and pulled in, and I looked and I said, you guys are actually pouring? They're like, yeah, we just started yesterday. That one beer. So that was nice. So I had to buy a shirt.
Had to buy a shirt. Well, let's Chuck, I want to ask you about your shirt. Why don't you tell us about that brewery and the shirt?
I've never heard of that one.
So I'm supporting New Jersey Craft tonight, the local up and coming brewery. I hear they have some really nice
up and coming. How many years have you been in business?
I think they're 9 years old now.
9 years old.
9 going on 10 next April. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Little,
And,
so supporting New Jersey craft,
Very nice. And you established a couple years before you actually opened too.
Yeah, that's when I was trying to prove a point. It always got lost, but I was trying to prove a point of how difficult it was to open up a brewery in New Jersey. So we actually incorporated in 2014. We didn't open until 2016 because of the mountain of paperwork back in the day to open up a brewery was, everything was handwritten. Everything was in triplicate. We had to put these binders together, submit it to the ABC. You had to go through these inspections. It was a never-ending process to open up a brewery. But that was back. I mean, we started the process when there were somewhere in the 20s, 20-something breweries in New Jersey. That's how far back, And it's two stories, right? It's how far back we go, which isn't that far, but it shows you how young New Jersey craft beer really, as a whole enterprise.
Yeah, I mean, before the law that Christie signed the law back in September 2012, there were what, 9, 10, 11 breweries?
Yeah, 10. Yeah, I mean, you could name them all the Rammstein, the Flying Fish.
Card and King were the two newest ones at that point, and
yeah, they were really new. That was
they were a year old
out of the gate. After
I think Cape May was the newest one when the law went into effect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shortly
Flying Fish, River Horse. Who else was? Rammstein, Cricket Hill.
Yeah.
Climax. Yep.
Let's see. You had, and then you also had the brew pubs.
NJ Beer Co.
No.
NJ Beer Co. was open. Yeah, they were open.
Yeah,
before the law.
They were open, but you had some of the
they were young, but they were open before.
Yeah, they probably were like at that number 10 position.
Yeah.
10 or 11. Yeah. I always think of like the original ones.
The original ones. Yeah, the original ones were Flying and Climax, Flying Fish, River Horse, Rammstein, Cricket Hill, and so those 5. Then you had Boakes was a brewery.
Was a brewery back then, yeah.
Even though he was, I mean, his contract in Rammstein.
But he was Gypsy. He was Gypsy Brewing, right?
Gypsy Brewing out of Rammstein. Yeah.
Yep. Up in High Point.
A lot of great beers from Boakes. I remember. Yep.
Yeah, we may have had
a couple of them on Saturday night.
Yeah, we may have had one was, we had 3 of them that were that had some age on them, and man, they held up.
One of them was a Monster Mash from 2010.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was good.
So we were both.
I remember that label too. It's like as soon as you said Monster Mash, I could just visualize the label on the bottle. Yeah.
Then we had a flamethrower, and we had a double BV,
double BW,
and
then the flamethrower is double BW with Chipotle's.
Yep.
So.
And man, the Chipotle's really came through.
They got you would think they would have faded. They got more intense.
That sounds good.
I forget how old that one was.
That was 20.
Next time you come by, you got to bring one, John. That's it. You have one somewhere, right? You have one laying around?
I don't know.
No, this was out of Brian's.
Brian had these.
Thing, yeah.
All
right, I'll reach out to Brian. Now I got to try one. He might be on the chat. Is he on the chat?
Of course he's already. He's
already there.
There he is. Whatchamacallit? He said, cheers, first beer, Brewery Bavana, Wilt Belgian Quad.
Nice.
And he said, Boakes beer, while we were rattling them off, he said, Boakes beer.
Right.
And I said that, yes.
13th.
Boakes is 13th. We're 13th in 07. There you go. But, Brian, now that was including the
brew pubs, right?
Hold on. He says he has one left. The 13th license you had, though, in 07, that included Krog's and Old Ship Inn and Harvest Moon. That included the brew pubs, right?
It might, because you had
Long Valley Brew Pub too. Yeah, I believe it included those as well. Being 13th, as production, you say yes, it did.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. There was a handful. I remember when we were looking to open up, we were going to go look at breweries to see how it's done. How do you put this thing together? And I got to tell you, I remember going to Cricket Hill was the first one I went to.
I remember when you came into Cricket Hill.
Yeah. You guys, they were bottling. And I was on lunch. Mm-hmm. I was working in Pine Brook at the time. I was running a business in Pine Brook. And I was talking to my partner, Mike, and I said, I'm going to check on the internet, see if there's a brewery around me. I'm going to go look at a brewery. And Cricket Hill was there. It was out of hours, but I drove by. And I remember it was bottling day. You could hear that machine. I mean, when you were there, that machine was just rattling.
I haven't heard it in years, and I can still hear it.
And you can still hear it, right? And there was a woman standing outside. She was just casually drinking a beer, outside of the building. And I said, "Is this Cricket Hill?" She goes, "Oh, yeah. I know you're not open, but do you mind if I come in and look around?" She's like, "Yeah, come on in." And that's when I met Rick for the first time. And it was immediately just a warm and inviting environment, right?
Sure.
And I said, "Boy, this is an industry I'm not really used to. You're not used to walking into somebody's business and in off hours and then just welcoming you in." So we hung out for about an hour, talked, and then I remember calling Mike back. I'm like, I think this is going to be a good industry, a fun industry. And I remember going to Ramstein. We went to Kane. We went to Augie's place. There weren't that many to go to. What's that?
You said that word once.
You can't say it 2 more times.
You can say it one more time, but we can't say it again.
He's like Beetlejuice.
I remember when I went there. It
You
was
can say
carton as often as you want.
Oh, I can say carton. Okay, rules. I got it. So I went to Carton Brewing, and it was right before. It was about a little over a month before Valentine's Day, and he was there, and we kind of walked in. They were dipping bottles with the wax at the time,
Sure.
and Mike and I walked in, and we're like, "Hey, can we look around?" We grabbed a couple of beers. We were having a good time, and we said, "Is the owner around?" And I had not met him at this point, and I keep saying him. I want to say his name, but
You can say it one more time. We can't say it.
I'll save it for the right time.
All right.
So we think, oh yeah, he's in the back. He's brewing. So we went in the back, and he had his small system, and he was doing his Valentine. He was doing a Valentine beer, and he was putting chocolate and rose petals.
I know that beer. Yeah.
Into a beer on this small system.
On the tippy.
Yeah, it was a tippy like we have. We wound up getting a tippy as well because of that. And we're like, what? We're asking about the beer, and he's just plucking rose petals and throwing them in with chocolate and kind of brewing up this concoction. And it was so kind of foreign to what we thought of craft beer. It's different, but man, he's throwing like great flavors in. And so we never actually drank the final beer, but we were there when it was brewed, and it was kind of fun. And I'll say it one more time. Augie was very, very generous in meeting with us, just like Mike Kane. And we walked in there, and Mike was just, "Hey, come on in. I'll show you around." Really friendly, and those are guys that I've known from before we were even out. So what has it been? 10.5 years?
Sure.
Something like that.
The beer's name eventually became Cupid.
It was Cupid, yeah.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah,
it's called Cupid.
Yeah, okay. So it was just fun. It was awesome to see, and then meeting Greg up at Ramstein, and that was back when Bolero was Gypsy Brewing at their place. They had a couple of tanks there.
Sure.
Big lager tanks. We're like, what are those? And these huge size, big lager tanks.
That was after the original brewery burnt down, right?
Yeah. That was. Yeah, probably. Long ago. I got to be honest with you. I've got great memories, but it's been a blur since then. When you own a brewery, you want to go out and visit breweries, but it's like, when do you find time to do that? You want to go out and hang out with your friends. We're lucky here, in our area, we've got, six really good friends that own breweries within a few miles of us.
Sure.
We get together. We have cigars out in my beer garden, and we do all kind of get-togethers and actually hang out, and have become good friends over the years of owning breweries.
And I love the fact that, whenever I do get up to you and everybody else up that way, there's a couch a mile down the road that I can sleep on without having to drive all the way home.
Having to go all the way home. Anytime. But you know what? It was a great industry of friends, right? That's what I got into. Is you meet these people, and you don't know them from Adam. The next thing you know, you're drinking a beer together. We're talking about the beer. How did you brew the beer? What'd you put into the beer? What are the little nuances of the brew process? And it's the beauty of recipes, right? You can get anybody's recipe, but you don't have their equipment. You don't have their water profile. You don't have the system, the size, scale, whatever it is. And you can make your interpretation of that recipe if you get your hands on it, but you're never going to make that beer because that person, that group of people are in that beer. So,
Right.
So we talked a lot about craft beer. We still do. It's fun.
It's amazing because, I don't really go to beer festivals anymore. I used to go and pour.
Mhm.
And I think that's why I don't like.
Oh no, but a lot of people that used to go are poor now. But
Yes, they're up for it. But I'd go and I'd pour for a couple different breweries, and once you're in before the gates open, once you're behind the taps, it changes it for you forever because that time period when everyone's setting up and now everyone's done setting up and the gates aren't open yet, that's the golden time.
Yeah.
That's when everyone's walking around, talking to each other, drinking each other's beer, talking about what they've done, and it's that's why I can't be a guest at these anymore.
That's well, you know what it is. It's that time, and it's also the beer fest that you're fortunate enough to have, like the ones that are like Allison's when she has the
Yep.
day and night
The
sessions,
Armory, yeah.
right? And there's like a 2.5 hour gap in between. That's the time, right? Everybody orders pizzas, and then it's a big bottle share, right?
Yeah, that's what it all becomes, right? It becomes friends, like I was saying before. You don't have time to go visit your friends. Beer festivals were always the time where you could all catch up, right?
Mhm.
You had that time before, you had the time in a break, you walked around a little bit.
Sure.
There are two people in New Jersey who were the foundations of those shows. One was Allison,
Mhm.
the other is John down
Sure.
at the Atlantic City Beer Festival.
Of course.
I mean, and they made beer festivals the best thing to go to.
Absolutely.
So much fun, so exciting. They brought out great craft beer. I just think the consumer market's changed for beer festivals.
It has.
We're
But
not-
it's all over. And I have some thoughts on that, but I want to bring up a couple of things before that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Whatchamacallit. To your point, this industry is, as far as I'm concerned, I've said this for years, one big family. There's an outlier here or there, but for the most part, I mean, it's everybody is friends. Everybody's for each other. Everybody's tight. Everybody's friends. Everybody's, like I said, a family. We brought when we went down to Nashville. You were there. We went and we walked in, and Jim came with Matt and I that year, and we walk into the trade show floor, and there were people from all over the country walking up to me and Matt. Hey guys, what's going on? How you doing? And Jim's like, how the hell do you know all these people? It's like you just meet them over the years, and everybody's friends, and it's an amazing. It's an industry unlike any other. It really is.
Craft Brewers Conference is one of those things where you maybe talk to somebody, you email somebody, suppliers and all that, and you got to finally meet them face to face. It is just a giant. It's like a brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever you want to call it, of people who are in the same business,
Mm-hmm.
And it's always fun. I think when craft beer industry people get together, you're going to have fun.
You're gonna have fun.
It's hard. It's hard not to.
100%.
You got to not want to have fun. Honestly,
you got to not want to have fun and do your damnedest to really force the issue of not having fun to not have fun.
That's exactly it.
That was exactly the points I was making. That's why.
If not, there's always beer.
Exactly. The social lubricant.
And beer is fun.
There you go. Did I see you open your second there, sir?
I done did.
And what might that be that you are?
This on the Rhode Island trip, I said it when we were talking about it. This was the surprise of the trip. This was these guys really, they knocked me off my feet. Pivotal Brewing in Brighton, Rhode Island, Bristol, Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Midnight Brighter. I'm not even sure.
What's the style on that?
So this is a dark Czech lager.
Ah.
Now I had their Czech lager, which is their it is actually their flagship, and I actually ordered. I said, "Oh, can I have a Pivotal?" They call it Pivo Tal, and I was very embarrassed that I didn't catch up on that because there even is a hyphen between Pivo and TAL. So, but this is what
brewed a Pivo. I brewed a Pivo 2 months ago, two and a half months ago.
That was so damn good, but they didn't have the dark on tap that I had to get the cans. So
what's the the flavor profile for a dark lager, Czech dark lager.
So it's a less roasty Schwarzbier is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So it's a Schwartz. It's like a Schwarzbier, but it's not as roasty. So
And this
and the mouthfeel isn't thinner by any means either. It's just less roast.
yeah, it's just less roast, and this is definitely less roast. It's a little less roast than I really kind of want in a Tamave, but it's tasty. Oh, wait a second. No, it's hitting on the back end.
Yeah, no roast is there.
Yeah, but it's on the back end. It wasn't right up front. There's usually, like a Schwartz, there's usually a little bit of a chocolate note,
Mm-hmm.
and this has that.
It's a. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's a Czech Schwarzbier.
Yep.
Right. It's again just has a little less roast than, and then again, is not a ton of roast in a Schwarzbier either, right?
No.
Mm-hmm.
But there's enough to enjoy it like that. But it's just a little dialed back in a Tamave Pivo. A little bit more.
Is it a lighter mouthfeel when you're drinking it? Is it light on the palate? Is it if it's less roasty? I'm imagining that it's less. Is it more like a?
It's not a lighter mouthfeel. It's a little lighter on the palate.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If it's got that roastiness on the back end,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably drinking very
Smooth. Yeah, very
smooth.
lighter. Yeah, it's Dave's favorite style of the two. I prefer
Yep.
Schwarzbier with Tamave Pivo second in those two styles, and he's the opposite way. But
My reasoning, and I've said this, I've drank so many Schwartz beers, and there's a Schwartz beer when it's not done exceptionally well can come off as sweet, and I don't like that. And I've had too many sweet Schwartz beers, and I've never had a sweet. I think I've had one sweet Tamave Pivo, and
Is that a
Yeah, I didn't
attenuation,
like that
or do you
one.
think that's more of a grain? Where's that sweetness coming from?
it's,
nothing.
coming from the grain, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a grain balance, the grain, whatever they're doing with their grain bill, and just not. And I don't think the darker, they're probably not using as much dark grains to bring that roasted flavor to knock down the sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously using grains that are throwing more sweetness than they should.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But yeah, I mean, I had this one Schwarzbier not long ago, Black Diamonds, I think it was called. It was fantastic.
I've heard of that one. I have heard of that.
I was tempted. I was really tempted. I was going to bring that one back, but we've had it I brewed it the last 4 years, and I just think it's one of those beers I'd like to just shelve it for a season.
Why
I'm
not?
thinking about, yeah.
Do something in its place,
I want to do
and then A, B it.
I've got Rasputin's Revenge. Now, Rasputin's Revenge is my Russian Imperial
Mm-hmm.
that I did
Mhm.
our first and second year.
Yeah.
We haven't done it since.
I remember that beer.
And all that stuff.
That was great.
But I think it's time to bring that one back.
Yeah.
I think Rasputin's Revenge needs to make a return this season,
I-
especially as we go into the wintertime.
Speaking of stouts, I got to ask you, when was the last time you brewed Wake Up and Smell of Coffee?
2 years ago.
Was it 2 years? All right.
That's our 10. For those that don't know, that's our 10% breakfast stout.
That was
So
the
stout.
the first time I had,
sounds yummy.
because you did a barrel aged version of it too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the first time I had the barrel aged version of it, do you remember? Was at an Allison event in Jersey City.
Sure was.
We were setting up. And I walk over by you. You're like, drink this.
I've got a couple of cases still that I've got tucked away of all the original. I always take a case of all my bottled beers and put them aside just in case. I think I'll take them out for the 10th anniversary
Nice.
There we
and
go.
bring back a lot of those bottles. But I'd like to do Rasputin's Revenge, put it in the barrel again. Barrel aging is just, I think to the consumer is a dead market, right? Because you want to barrel age it, you want to bottle it, you want to have it, and people used to collect bottles like crazy of barrel aged beers.
Don't.
For it.
You're right. It's changed. The market for it has changed.
Some of us still do.
But don't
But
kid
it's not
yourself.
dead. I'm not saying it's dead.
Yeah,
But
it's changed. It has.
remember,
But
you'd go into a liquor store, there'd be a whole 4-foot shelf of bottles of barrel aged beers from around, and you'd rush to get there to get one before they were grabbed. The really good ones get grabbed up fast. or you'd go to a bottle release event at a brewery and line up and wait for that special.
Sure. Yeah, they generally don't happen anymore. The lines generally don't happen anymore.
For any kind of beer. It's not just barrel aged beer, but we're bringing back a barrel program. We've got, I think at one point we had 20 barrels in the back, 20 or 22 barrels, something like that, all aging at the same time. It was fantastic. And I thought every one was better than the last one. And you get a couple that, for whatever reason, they get funky, whatever, and you dump one here or there. But for the most part, you wind up, and people don't realize, we did 22-ounce bombers, so you do a 50, 60, gallon barrel, and it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bottles.
Yeah,
it's a lot of bottles.
It's a lot of bottles. It's a lot of bottles. And now most everybody's doing 16.9s. They're doing 500 ml bottles.
Yeah.
And some people, and Kane, Mike did this a couple of times. We did it with Wooden Cleat. He put in 250s, so it was 8.45 ounces nice.
But that's a lot of work. It's a very manual process between sanitizing the bottles, filling the bottles, packaging, and labeling.
What he pays people for.
What's that?
It's what he pays people for.
I like to do the work.
You get the L's. You get the L's to do it.
I'm a very hands-on guy.
Elves to do it.
Compared to Mike, everyone's the height of an elf.
I enjoy it. But, we have a canning line now, so I've been thinking about maybe doing some bottles and then taking some and kegging it and then putting it on the canning line and packaging it out into 16-ounce cans. I mean, we've done King Gambrinus in 16-ounce cans. It's a 10%er. We've done Suicide King 8.5%.
I have seen a lot of higher ABV barrel aged beers in 16-ounce cans, and what I see a lot of stores doing is they'll get a case of them, and they're 4-packs, right? They'll get a case of them, and they'll take them out of the 4-packs and sell them by the can.
Yep. Sell them one off.
Yep.
I think the biggest beer we ever packaged in a can was our Belgian Quad. That was a 13% Belgian Quad. And we couldn't even sell it we had to sell it in like a 5-ounce sampler because people would come in and just, they'd take a 10-ouncer and 3 of them later, 13%. They're,
Right.
So we had to, but we haven't brewed anything that big in a while, but I think it's time to bring back some of the big beers.
It's time. So yeah, and it's that time of year to brew that now. So it's nice. And
I just noticed in the industry, I don't know if you guys notice it, there's a lot of safe beers out there.
There's a lot of safe beers out there.
Right. There's a lot of that. There's not a lot of the crazy ABVs or the big beers anymore.
You find them here and there, but they're nowhere near as prevalent as they were before.
No.
Nowhere near.
Yeah, the ABVs are definitely coming down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of it's got to do with the lager pilsner re-revolution.
Right.
And people getting kind of tired of the dippas out there. It's like this huge collective timely palate fatigue.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that because I got a few of these I got one-offs just to try them. So I took them out and I have them here. Had to get a couple of this. Like this is, I'll just show you two of them. This is from Hop Butcher for the World.
Okay.
All right. It is a 10.5% triple IPA. It's called Beef Tripped.
Oh boy.
All right. I had to. What's this about? I have to, right? And then other half last weekend had their the Green City Worldwide, the festival over at the brewery in Brooklyn, and they released a bunch of collabs with breweries that they had done around the world, and they had done this one with where the hell is it?
It's on there somewhere, John.
Uchu Brewing. Uchu. So I'm assuming it's in Japan, but it's the Hokuto edition of the Green City Worldwide, and
that would be Fuji on that. So yeah, I think Fuji, you're right with the Japan thing.
And it's a 10% hazy triple IPA.
So I immediately got Pyramid out of that. I got Pyramid. I got the
Pyramid.
Oh,
I got
the pyramid.
I
That's the
looked at that. I'm like, why is there a pyramid on the? On
No, that's Fuji. That's definitely Fuji.
Oh yeah, no, I get it now.
It was brewed with Verwaka, Mosaic, Motueka, Citra Cryo, and Citra Incognito.
5 hops.
Yeah.
Once you get above 3, I tap out.
But I got them because I was just curious. Now I haven't been as big of a hophead as I used to be in many years. But those two, I'm like, I got to know. I got to know.
We were actually
and
talking.
I probably will drink maybe 4 or 5 ounces of it, and Jess can drink the rest. But I don't.
Put her to sleep. Yeah, we were talking before the show about what we're going to drink, and Joe's like, I was going to do all IPAs, but I don't want to.
I don't want to. I want to drink. I mean, this is the lager room
guys
guys for a
burned
reason.
out on IPAs. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm not burned out. I'll enjoy them.
I am. Actually.
I'll have them. I'm burned out to the point where I don't seek them out, but I can drink them. Like if I come up by you, right, and you have 3 new IPAs, I'm having them, right?
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not going to a brewery to have their 3 new IPAs.
No.
Yeah.
You know, if I have one of them, I do. But I want their lagers. I want maybe one of their barrel aged beers.
The other problem is if you're going to a brewery and you're driving to a brewery, it's rare nowadays to find a single IPA on tap. They're all doubles.
Yeah. And
I don't want to hit that kind of ABV. I would rather have 3 lower ABV beers than two double IPAs.
Right.
It's unsessionable. Something you can have.
Yeah.
Have a couple. Really, I always like IPAs, and I'm kind of of the same mindset. I'd rather have an IPA that's more aromatic, it's more flavor forward, present the hop, show the hop,
right,
instead of burying it in a lot of the bitterness or the lactose craze.
I love smash beers. I love smash beers.
Yeah.
I want to taste that malt and that specific hop, the way it plays with that one malt. And it's like a lesson, right? It's like a school.
Oh yeah.
You know,
we did a lot of them. Early days, we did a lot of that. That's how we got to Sunkist Citra and Rake Breaker is that process right there of how do you put these hops together. And we used to never name. I thought I'd be one of those breweries that didn't name beers. So it was IPA number 1, IPA number 2. And we were numbering the IPAs. And then eventually it got ridiculous. We were up to like IPA 30 and it's like, yeah, we can't.
We gotta name these. Yeah.
We gotta name some of these so we could like lock in into one.
A couple comments from Brian here. He said, He said, most of my Tavor order is barrel aged beers. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. My Tavor order is usually split between barrel aged beers and lagers and the like that I can't get here that I definitely need to try.
My crate
bottles or cans. I'm curious now.
He also says I vote for big beers. He said
he likes big beers.
But
I like big beers when I'm sitting at home.
I like big beers, and I cannot lie.
You other loggers can't deny.
You other loggers can't deny.
Okay, guys, there's a song in here. We got to do a parody thing. Jersey craft beer.
Sir drinks a lot.
Oh my God!
There we go.
Itself, this is
We've
so
already
great.
got it.
You don't even need to work. It just does it all for you, man.
Why hasn't this been done before? We're doing this tonight. We're doing this tonight.
Ooh, Mr. Mashin.
To do it. Anyway, but yeah, no, Dave hit the nail on the head there. I would rather, and you, Chuck, with tasting those particular hops, like Dave said, like 2 hops, 3 hops, that's, and that play well with each other. That there's a reason that they're together, right? That's what you're looking for. I don't need one of these. Okay, there's 19 hops in this beer. Why? Why is there 19 hops in this beer? Because we had a little of 19 different hops left over, and we put them all in this beer.
I'll say one thing though: if I go to a brewery and they've got a West Coast IPA on, I'm ordering that. I'll probably order a couple of lagers first, and I'll finish with that because it's so rare to find a West Coast anymore. We did a show a couple of weeks ago, and we were doing what you call them, legacy beers.
Legacy beers, yeah.
Legacy beers, and the liquor store down the street from me, she likes to mix. She'll get a bunch of stuff in from the same brewery, and then she'll mix the 4-packs or the 6-packs, which I love that.
Yeah.
And I grabbed a Founders because it was a mixed 6 with 3 different beers. And had Centennial IPA on it. I can't remember the last time I had one of those. And then when I opened it up, and it just felt like the fresh cones were just pouring out of this can. I was like, oh my God, why don't we do beers like this anymore? And I was in heaven.
Mhm.
So I don't think my palate has been exhausted on IPAs. It's been exhausted on New England IPAs.
Yeah.
Because that's all anybody brews anymore.
Because they're keep the lights on beers. That's
Yeah.
what they are.
And even when
They're
you do
gonna
try-
sell. They're gonna move faster than anything else. And hey,
I don't
crank
know.
'em out. And they're you know, they're not cheap to make by any means, but they're
Yeah.
easy to make. They're quick to make.
It's a quick turn. Yeah, it's a quick turn. And even the West Coast IPAs that get made out here, it's not always with those really piney, resiny, high
Have a little
citrus.
bite to it. It should have a little bite to it for sure.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
It should have that beautiful kind of caramel color to it almost.
Oh yeah. It doesn't have to be Maharaja by Avery by any means,
Right.
which is good every now and then, but you're not going to taste anything for 3 days.
What was that one? What was that one that Evil Twin made? It was like 17%. Oh, Molotov cocktail.
Oh God, no! Don't even.
You ever had that?
I think it took me 2 months to taste anything after that one.
Yeah, I mean it's Maharaja, but it's the East Coast Maharaja, right? So,
Yeah. And then Green Flash is Palate Wrecker.
yeah.
Very appropriately named beer. I miss those styles.
Captain Lawrence did something. Alpha something.
Not Alpha King.
No, it's Alpha. I'll find it while Chuck tells us what beer he just poured.
I just poured Suicide King. So this is a sour version of our King Gambrinus,
Yeah.
and it's done with blood orange. So it's got a wonderful color to it. It's kind of
Cryo King, John.
there we go.
Seeking Alpha.
Oh,
You can
Seeking
actually
Alpha.
see me through it. That's kind of
Oh,
clear.
yeah.
That is really cool. Yeah, I love that.
Wow, man, your tan has gotten really good.
Yeah,
What's-
Seeking Alpha was
Alpha,
Captain
that's
Lawrence. It was a triple. It was 12%, 100 IBUs.
There you go.
Yeah.
100. We did one of those early days.
Mhm.
Got 113 IBUs. Boy, it almost burned going down.
The thing about that, we can't discern above 100 IPUs.
Yeah,
I know.
You blow your palate out.
Well, if memory serves, Dave, you and I had a beer that was 15 years old the other night. That was a 10% Russian Imperial Stout. That was 100 IBUs.
Yes, we done did.
Mm-hmm. And this was who brewed it, and he's now having his second beer, Folks Beer Blunderbore.
Blunderbore.
There you go.
Which
is that beer
which is that beer?
with Madagascar vanilla beans and Jack Daniel's barrels.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But so back to your beer. Sorry about that, Chuck.
Oh no, it's
So it's
it's a sour version of the King. It's 8.5%.
mhm.
So it's still nice big beer, but it drinks beautifully. I just think the hard part is nowadays with craft beer as a brewery owner, you got to pay the bills, but at the same time you're trying to do something you enjoy.
Absolutely.
But fruity beers, things with fruit like Love Potion No. 9, Pineapple Hefeweizen, or Elder Magic, which is elderberry and lemons Hefeweizen, do really well. Lower ABVs.
Yep.
It's not that I want to do. I think we have three. We have two 8.5. We have an 8.5% Suicide. Then we have King Gambrinus at 10, and then we have a lot of 3.2 up to 6.5.
Right.
There's a lot. Most of our taps are there, and fruity.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's where I think we need to we as an industry
Right.
need to focus on, because that you can have your okay, here's my experimental triple IPA. Okay, cool, I did one. Here's my barrel program, whatever. But for the most part, here are all my ales and lagers, and they're all 3.9 to 6.2. Here we
It's
go.
the sweet spot. You know what?
Right.
From a we used to have the inverse, right? So you'd come in and there were two beers below 4%, and then everything was closer to 10 to 13%.
Sure.
People would come in, have a 10-ounce pour, and they'd leave, and that was it. And you start looking at your business model, and you go, "What the heck am I doing?" They can't drink. They can't drink like that.
Right.
And you watch your average sale go down and all that stuff in your sample.
Yeah, because you don't get a lot of foot traffic where you are.
We're not on a beaten path.
There's not a lot of transient people walking by the front of the building. Yeah.
We don't get a lot of that. We don't get a lot. You when you come to Jersey Girl, you meant to come to Jersey Girl.
If you walk outside the brewery and you see a lot of people walking back and forth up and down the block, something's wrong.
Something's wrong. They're fleeing. They're not actually walking. They're fleeing something, some kind of catastrophe, and they're seeking higher ground.
It's probably the zombie apocalypse.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. But yeah, that's the sweet spot. You hit it on the head.
You got to make it an experience, right? So it comes down to if you take the time to come to Jersey Girl, we've got to give you an opportunity to do exactly what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. We have 19 different beers on tap. We have the hard seltzers, as everyone else does. Mm-hmm. But we try to do a little bit of everything. That's the Tippy. I still brew on the Tippy religiously because that's our 27-gallon system. That just gives us a one-off homebrew style beer that we can put on tap in a sample room and say, here's a one-off Pivo or something like that.
And it gives me one of my favorite Christmas beers.
The Nog.
Uh-huh.
I think we're going big system on Nog this year. We might
really.
We might actually go to distribution with that this year.
Oh, really?
We've done it for. I'd like one of these years just to be able to do that on the big house. It's a really nice Christmas. It's the spices and everything that make me nervous. When you screw up a 27-gallon batch,
right?
You're like, all right, that's it's all right. It's a little bit too much of this, too much of that.
Right. Adjust this, adjust that. Drink it ourselves. Have a good time. Call it a day.
Exactly. You can get through it, right? With friends, you'll have a party with friends. You'll knock it back.
Right.
You do it on a 30-barrel scale. I get a little bit nervous.
Right.
You can do spices the wrong way on our system.
But you've done it so much. But you haven't done a 30-barrel batch of it, right?
No, I've never done it off of the Tippy. I've done it every Christmas since we opened up. It's the one beer that you have to come. It's a cream ale, by the way. So if you haven't had it, for those that are, it's a Christmas cream ale, and it is really nice. 10%.
Some of that's it's fantastic. I have to have it every year. Chuck knows that. So I will obviously I'm going up to my sister-in-law's obviously. So
yeah, you come by and you
come by, visit, have the beer, bing bang boom, right there, yeah.
Right down the street.
Right. I go up for a party or whatever. I sneak out. I'll be right back.
You seem happier since you were gone.
Right.
What happened?
But
I love brewing that beer. It's almost, if I don't have it, people come in. They start in November. Chuck, when is Nog being released? When are you gonna have Nog? When do you have Nog? And we put it on tap, and it's a nice little release.
You ever barrel age it?
It's interesting you say that. I think it would do well in a barrel. Probably something like an Elijah barrel or something like that.
Yeah, because bourbon is the classic spirit in eggnog.
Yeah, I think it would. I
think it. All right. Well, all right.
But I'd have to do a bigger batch. Maybe
do a bigger batch.
10 barrels. Yeah, maybe 10 barrels instead of 30 barrels. I could do smaller scale on my system. But do something that's reasonable that I could split it out between distribution and barrel aging and
scale it up. Pull off. Get 10 barrels of it. Net. Would you just brew 10 barrels or net 10 barrels?
I'd start with a 10-barrel recipe. We'd probably net down to after fermentation net down to about 9.
Right. So pull 3 barrels off for.
It's not a hoppy beer, so I'm not losing trub.
Right.
I'm not losing a lot on dry hopping or anything like that.
Right.
You lose whatever I lose with the yeast.
Right.
It's small.
That's just small. Yeah. So 9 and change. You can pull 3 barrels off for a couple barrels.
Yeah, that's because then it's easier to move, right? You're moving. 5.2 barrels is a pallet of beer for us.
Right.
If we put it into 16 ounces.
Right.
It's just so you break down the tank that way, and it makes it a little bit more palatable.
Exactly. No pun intended.
Right. I got to be careful.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of those one-off beers. There's a lot of beers that we've done over the years that we've packaged. Now that we have a canning line, we package them. Like we were talking about our West Coast. I have a Gold Rush is our West Coast IPA. We haven't done it. A year and a half. We haven't done it because I've got a list of like 10 beers I want to bring back before I go back to Gold Rush. But I want to do Lost in Space again. Lost in Space was a galaxy.
I wonder if that's something I think every brewer is up against, where they have such a catalog of beers they want to bring back that eventually there's such a backlog that some of them they're never going to get to. It's kind of like John and his traditions. It's like every time he adds a new tradition, eventually he's going to have like every day of every year set with, I have to drink this on this day, I have to sit this on this drink, I have to wear this on this day, because he just keeps adding traditions and he can't let one go.
It's fun though. It's fun though, and I'm never going to get to 365 different days of traditions. So I mean,
you're already up to about 260.
Nah, about 100, about 120, about 120.
You're almost there. Come on,
you're getting it. You're a third of the way there.
Pushing 60, and I'm pushing 60. I'd have to live to 180 to get to 365 days.
Well, you still got time.
There you go.
Try harder. Do better.
I think isn't that the fun part as a craft brewery owner? And we're talking about you got a backlog of beers you want to bring back. That's the good thing, right? That's
not a bad problem.
You're doing something right. When people come in and say, "Hey, when are you bringing back this? When are you bringing back that?" We have one called Pocket Aces. It's Sriracha Ace.
I remember that
beer was great.
Really good.
Yeah.
We haven't done that beer in. God, was that pre-COVID? It was maybe COVID year or something like that.
It was around there. Yeah, it's like 5-6 years. Yeah. I got a question
to bring back Sriracha Ace or Sriracha Ace Pilsner.
But it also means that you've been in business long enough to have that backlog.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we did 80 beers our first year alone. Our first year alone, we released 80 different beers because we were learning, right? We're just kind of figuring it out. But that's the Tippy and the main system. That's not just the big system.
It's not all 30 barrel batches of 80 different beers. Yeah.
No.
I got a question for you, and it's probably I'm going to say 2018-ish. Now, Elder Magic. I love that beer. All right. Elder Magic. Was that the same? Do you remember? Can you remember back to the Crystal Springs event, the Father's Day event they do every year? Remember when we were next to each other, Defiant and Jersey Girl? We were next to each other, and you brought a beer with elderflower. Yeah. And was that the original Elder Magic? That's because it wasn't Elder Magic then.
It was affectionately called Elderberry Lemon Hefeweizen.
Elderberry Lemon Hef. Elderberry Lemon Hef.
That's a clever name.
Yeah.
And then
and I looked at him too. How did you come up with that?
It was great. We named it. So I went to see an ELO concert, and they played Strange Magic. Mm-hmm. And I said, that's what we're going to, that rolls off the tongue a whole lot better than Elderberry Lemon Hefeweizen. So we named it the Strange Magic, and I came up with that purple label with the kind of the clouds and everything in the background. It's kind of cool.
Could have named it ELH instead of ELO too, but
it was a phenomenal show. That's where Black Diamond came from. I went to see Kiss.
You got a lot of names out of one show.
Kiss. I came back and I said, "That's it. We've named the Schwartz beer. The Schwartz beer is now going to be called Black Diamond."
Kiss and ELO were in one show.
No.
Okay, but that makes no sense.
I love Kiss. I'm a huge music nerd. I just
as you're talking to two huge music nerds.
Growing up, ELO was my favorite band.
Well, Fatheads sent me a note and said, Fathead Brewing said, "Hey, listen, we're trying to trademark Strange Magic." He said, we're trying to do it without opposition. Would you mind changing the name so that we can get the trademark through? Because our Strange Magic came up on their trademark application. They said there's already prior art. And I said, I'm not really married to Strange Magic.
Elder Magic.
Then it became Elder Magic.
There you go.
So that's how the evolution of naming a beer.
Evolution of naming a beer. I got one for you naming a brewery. Quick aside. All right, so in Boston, well, up north of Boston, in Beverly, Massachusetts, there was a brewery called Channel Marker Brewing. All right, and I'd gone up there a couple times, anytime, because Jess and I go to Boston all the time. So we got up to Beverly a couple times, and a few times, and gone into Channel Marker Brewing. we the next time we go up was probably a year and a half later or so, and we had already opened Coastal, so forth and so on. So we get up there and we walk in, and it's Coastal Massachusetts Brewing. I'm like, so I was talking to the one bar manager, and then I wound up talking to the owner afterwards. He came out. Long story short, Isla Morada Brewing in Florida.
Yeah.
They have Channel Marker Ale.
But that's not the name of the brewery.
It's the name of a beer. So they actually sent him a C&D.
Oh yeah.
Because they have, if you look on Untappd, Channel Marker Ale from Isla Morada Brewing has like 40,000 check-ins. It's their biggest beer, right? So like, please don't use this for your. And they'd already been open like 4 years, right? And they sent him a C&D. So they wanted to keep the same initials, Channel Marker, Coastal Massachusetts, right? So I'm talking to him, and he's looking at my Coastal stuff. Where he says, "Wait a minute, you're not going to send me a C&D to use Coastal, are you?" I'm like, "Nope. As long as we do a collab, you're good to go."
There you go.
So we haven't done it yet, but
yeah, there's a lot of C&Ds that go around. I know that Departed Souls, we've gotten one from the Devils. You know, we've had to change our brand. We had to change a whole can label because of that. The Devils, after COVID, went crazy with cease and desists on all the local craft beers that we're trying to help the team and be fans, and we're just loving local teams. And yeah, they just kind of went.
That's sad.
yeah,
It is because we don't sell enough beer to go fight it in court.
right.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that big of a deal.
They need to sit back. They need to sit back and look at what they're doing. Like if Anheuser-Busch was doing this, yes, send that C&D. A local New Jersey craft brewery that's supporting your fandom. Come on, embrace it. Bring them in. Work with them.
Totally. We had Ballast Point got bought by Budweiser. Released a beer called Sure Thing, which is a Jersey Girl owned trademark.
Mm-hmm.
And we sent them a C&D.
Yeah.
And we won. That was early days. That was like our third year in.
You gotta love it.
Oh my God, why are they picking on us? Why are they taking our trademarks? Why are they trying to do that? And it was a friend of mine who was actually driving in the area of the brewery, and there was a big billboard, and it was like Sure Thing. It was a Pilsner, I guess it was.
Yeah.
And he said, don't you own Sure Thing? And it's like, I sure do. I don't own a lot of trademarks, but there's a couple of them, and Sure Thing was one of them. And that's the name of our hard seltzer. Right. We named the whole line Sure Thing.
Right. Dave Campanelle just said, "Did I hear court?"
You just got someone wet.
What? Lawsuit? What?
My attorney ears just went up.
He wasn't listening until that point.
Right.
Are they talking legal stuff? I thought they were just going to talk beer.
Where is this legal stuff being talked? It's on the.
How do I get in the show podcast? I got to jump in.
What's up, Camp? And Brian Boak just said before, he said, yes, Monster Mash was 100 IBUs. Yes.
Yeah, nice.
I am. You didn't finish yours. Let me know when you finish yours. I'll pour my third when you finish yours.
No, go ahead.
Pour your third. Well, no, it's the same one. So.
Just what's left.
All right.
Go for it.
But I got while you drink that, I got another quick C&D story, really quick. Cricket Hill. Go back to Cricket Hill. We're talking, right? Cricket Hill's one IPA back in the day was Hopnotic, right? Okay. Rick got a C&D from the makers of the liqueur Hypnotic. That blue liqueur and that,
and he'd been making Hypnotic a lot longer than Hypnotic was.
Right, and they sent him a C&D. So, and he's like, how is anybody going to confuse? First of all, Hopnotic and Hypnotic are two different names. They're spelled, and it's Hypnotic is spelled with a Y and a Q at the end. So, right, and how is anybody going to confuse Hopnotic beer with Hypnotic? Disgusting blue sugar liqueur. And so that it kind of just fell by the wayside. None never came of it. So at least that was that. So. Yeah. But I mean,
I remember hearing that story because that was when I was first coming by.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
That's when that was going on. That was
it was like 2013, 2014. Yeah.
It was early days.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got let's do this. I got a couple other industry things I want to say, but I think we have a couple of hot takes or hop takes, as it was. But let's pour the beer first. You're still drinking. You're still drinking your.
No, I just cracked my third.
No,
Oh,
Chuck's still drinking a
Chuck, yeah.
sour. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still on the sour. It's going down wonderfully, but I'm talking probably too much.
There you go.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
Saying too much.
Not at all.
You get more drinking in.
Exactly. 3 dark beers tonight. That's never been done on this show.
Yes, it has.
Sarcasm. That was
Sarcasm. I see. I get it. So what John's pouring over there, and he's going to take his obligatory picture, and I'm not going to wait for him to be done taking.
No, because I'm going to put the crawl up while you talk. There you go.
We are drinking Fox Farms Helmhold, which is a Munich style dunkel. I love this like graphic they've got on here.
What is that?
Just like a Germanic warrior or something. Helmhold. Is this maybe he's related to Helm Hammerhand of Lord of the Rings?
What was that? Will Smith? Was it Men in Black, where there was the movie with the guy that had the things that shot out of his hands? He had black eyes.
Oh yeah, it was Men in Black 3. That was.
Men in Black 3.
It was actually my favorite of the 3 Men in Black. Yeah.
It looks just like him.
That was the guy that played that. That was the guy from.
He was the comedian from the
main
comedy duo. What was it?
Yeah, it was the.
Hip Hop Hippopotamus.
No, yeah, right. It was the.
Was it Key?
No.
Concords.
Flight of the Concords.
Flight
Flight of the Concords. Yeah.
I'll get there. Come on, John. We'll do this together. We'll get there together.
We'll get it together.
Brain power here.
Flight of the Concords. That was a funny show. That was
hilarious. I love that show.
That was great. But that was him. That was him.
Yeah, that was the guy, right? You look at the can; it looks just like the character.
That was actually my favorite of the Men in Blacks. In fact, in Men in Black 3, the guy who played Andy Warhol. Thank you. When they went to
Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol. It was Bill Hader from SNL played Andy Warhol. But it was pretty cool. Anyway, so yes, Helmhold.
Bill Hader. I watched that movie. You ever see Paul? You ever watch the movie Paul with the little alien?
Oh yeah.
And he's in that.
Yeah.
God, I forgot how funny that movie was. I thought it was just kind of funny. But that was like 2013 or something like that.
That was a while ago. Yeah.
This beer actually got a one of the untapped golds. The last beer we drank had an untapped silver. This one's got an untapped, gold.
Untapped gold. Untapped gold
what's
for
the style. I don't think you didn't say the.
It's
style.
a dunkel. It's a dunkel.
Oh, it's a dunkel. Okay, got it.
A Munich style dunkel.
Munich style dunkel. Yeah.
There he is. So, there you go. Which we call it. It got a gold for Connecticut or for the U.S.
I don't know. I didn't look that far. I didn't care. I want to drink the beer.
I'll have to check it out because I know a beer that got a gold for for the U.S.
Well, yeah,
the entire U.S.
Out of the 6 that were brewed in the U.S.
Hey, it's still an award. Thank you. It's still an award. Thank you. Chuck. That was our.
Oh, that's really, really nice. Holy crap, that's a good beer.
I like a good dunkel. It's underappreciated style. We've done a couple over the years, and I wish more people would drink dunkels because
really I actually had this 2 years ago at Augers Well.
Did you really? It's funny because there's places like that, like Augers Well, Grammar, the Grand Delancey and stuff like that, where it's like, I gotta get this beer. I've never had this beer before. Then I go and I see, I had it in the Grand Delancey. Nope, I had it at Augers Well.
This beer has won awards. It's the number 1 lager, Munich Dunkel lager in Connecticut for 2025. It's the number 1. It was the number 1 Munich Dunkel in Connecticut for 2024, and it was the number 3 Munich Dunkel in the entire United States in 2024.
Wow. And I can see why. This is. I can't wait for John to take his first sip of this.
I already did. Well, I did 2 years ago.
I did. Now.
Catch up, samurai.
I never pay attention to John. You know that.
It never does.
What?
Brian said, Third beer, Boak's Beer Wooden Beanie. Had some of that the other day.
Yeah, he'll see if he kills it tonight.
Yeah. He didn't.
Because we know the keg, the sixtel was low.
The sixtel was low when Dave and I had said we
Yep.
were going over because we had some beer exchanges to do. He stopped drinking it. All right. So when he's pouring it the other night, I says, imagine he stopped drinking it, but he pours his, and it kicks after his.
That would
have been perfect. Would have been great. I would have loved it. Wouldn't have gotten anybody. Would have loved it, but it
we
didn't.
still have some more. So
Still have some more. So anyway, all right. Hot takes. Dave, we got some hot takes. Dave has some. I have some.
Well, we were talking earlier in the show. It is International Chicken Wing Day. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to ask some questions about that and then ask some questions about the other day. But we're going to start with the chicken wings.
Yep.
So for chicken wings, drumettes or flats? This is such a contentious thing here. And I know countries have gone to war over this. Chuck, drumettes or flats?
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to respond to that.
No?
Flats. I guess.
Flats. John?
Drumettes.
Drumettes. I like drumettes.
I love it because especially if you get to some place that actually gives you even amounts. Like if you get a 12 wing order or a 10 wing order, they get 5 or 6 of each.
Yeah.
It's perfect because Jess loves the flats.
There you go.
Done.
I don't know. So a lot of those places, the hard time I have is when they do those mixes like that, they don't label them correctly, right? So you get them at the table and you're like, oh, I wonder what this is. I wonder what that is. Because there's no label. You're like, oh, I ordered 4 different flavors and they put them on the same tray. And you're like, well, what the heck am I doing here? I have no idea what you guessing your way through it, right?
Yeah, I think that one is hot, and I think that one
exactly.
Especially if you do hot and medium. How the hell are you going to know, right?
You bite into the hot one first. You're like, I didn't order the hot one, but now you got the hot one because it's in commingled.
Right. Exactly.
Well, that's a great segue into the next question. I like to make wings at home. I make great wing sauces and all that. But when you're out, what's your favorite place to have wings? Where do you think the best wings are for you?
Local for us, it's Marley's. Marley's and
got to go to Marley's.
I've never gotten into Marley's. There's always too long of a line when I try.
You've never had Marley's, Dave?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God!
I need to get to it.
Next time you're out here, we got to go to Marley's.
We'll go to it the next time. The next time Dave's up there and we're there, we got.
I have tried thrice, and it's like, oh, we've like an hour. So one time I went like, oh, well, the weight that we have, we're probably not going to be able to see it again for tonight.
I mean, some of the flavors they have like 150 different wing combinations, and some of them are like. My son ordered peanut butter and popcorn. So you have this wing, they coat it in peanut butter and they roll it in popcorn, and it's like a mountain of this peanut butter popcorn thing. It's kind of weird. The kids love it. Not my thing. But for some reason, they find the biggest wings. I mean, they are massive. It's like genetically modified chicken.
And they're turkeys.
I think so because they're huge. You can't go to
like,
Buffalo Wild.
I'm just going to eat this one drumette. That's it. Just
That's it.
Pterodactyl wings.
And you can't go to these corporate places like Buffalo Wild Wings because the wings are just. I mean, they're like
frozen.
big,
and
they're tiny.
But they're also frozen.
They're like pigeon wings. That's what
they are. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I have this really weird ability to tell when chicken has been frozen. And if I take a bite into a wing, I can tell you immediately their chicken's frozen, and that's it. I'm never going back and ordering.
Everybody has a superpower. That's yours.
That's my superpower.
That's your superpower.
I got the shaft on that one.
381 wings were good. 381 wings were good.
Okay, but place is still open.
381. Oh, the 381 when you were there.
Yeah.
So today, where do you go for wings?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, geez. Honestly, right here, block and a half away, Boathouse.
Okay.
They have a lot of great sauces, and they do fried and grilled.
Interesting.
That's good.
And I usually go with the grilled. The grilled are actually sometimes they're not as crunchy, but they're crunchy, but they have better flavor to them because they're grilled.
Right.
And sometimes I'll actually get a mix. Justin and I'll go, we want wings. We'll get an order. We'll get the same sauce, an order fried, an order grilled, mix them up, and have at it.
There you go.
Yeah, you can't. Wings are hit and miss. It really is. You go to a place and they offer it as an appetizer. You know what you're getting yourself into, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get some small wings or frozen. You're processed, whatever. You go to Marley's. That's a place that does wings, but we don't have a lot of wing places around here. I mean, I couldn't tell you a place that specializes in wings. It's an item on the menu. Usually an appetizer, you get 6 or 12. You're going to get a handful of kind of half-assed chicken wings.
I would say I love Marley's. I love Boathouse. I love Marley's. I would say the best wings, and I loved 381 wings, but I would say the best wings that I ever had. It's close, I will say that, but it has to be Jimmy G's.
Oh yeah,
I hadn't thought of that.
they've got really good wings.
Jimmy G's wings are amazing. Really are.
Now the places that I used to like Shepherd and the Knuckleheads wings.
Shepherd Nuck was good.
Oh yeah, North Hilden.
Really good.
North Hilden, right?
Yeah, but we used to go
That
to the
was
one
amazing.
down here in Boken as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
I've never been to that location.
He's-
It's gone now. It's
Oh, it is gone.
yeah.
So both locations are gone now.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah.
that.
But
I mean, they stayed open longer than they
Yeah.
for years longer than after they closed North Eldon, but
Yeah. But the through college and now when I get a chance to go, Cluck You.
Cluck you too.
But I loved Cluck You wings. I love the they would always go bigger and hotter.
There you go.
You'd have to sign for their hottest wing with the
You're
thermonuclear.
not
You had
going
to
to
sign-
sue them if you pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to sign a waiver. They give you one, and when you're done with that one, that said you still want your order, and if you want your order, you signed the waiver.
I got one quick Jimmy G story and another one I'll tell you really quick, and then we'll move on to the next one. Really quick though, Brian Boak said not yet. Wooden Beanie did not kick yet, but he did say the drumettes are really chicken legs, little chicken legs.
Very
They're
well.
small
Chickens in wheelchairs out there right now.
So,
Just because you're happy.
but Jimmy G's, you both know Jim, right? My buddy Jim, you know Jim. So this is years ago, right? We're at Jimmy G's, and he's going to do the nuclear wings. He's just, I'm in for it tonight. I really want heat. I'm going to do the nuclear wings.
I'm a Marine. I can handle it.
I'm a Marine. I can do this, right? So he gets an order of nuclear wings. And he finished them. They were fine. I mean, it was heat. Yeah, he's sweating the whole 9 yards. He did it, right? So, but he got through it. It's fine. The next day, he calls me up. He says, if I ever, this is like after the morning constitutional, right? He goes, if we're ever at Jimmy G's again and I say I'm going to order the nuclear wings, punch me right in the damn face. He goes.
Now I did do the
Hi ho.
Exactly.
Hot out.
I did do the Buffalo Wild Wings challenge. Oof,
Yeah. Exactly.
or much. No, I did the Buffalo Wild Wings challenge once, and their hottest wings really are not all that hot. So I'm like, yeah, might as well get a free T-shirt while I'm here. So I ordered the hottest ones, and you have to eat like it's a dozen of them, and I think it's in 3 minutes,
Right.
something along those lines. And I get through the first 9 in like 45 seconds, and then I'm casually eating the rest of them and asking for time. And the one guy goes, he's slowing down. He's slowing down. I think we got him. The girl looks at him and goes, he's just adding drama. Did you see how we went through those 9? I went, so, where are we now? 30 seconds. Oh, okay, we're done. Yeah, so.
Uh-oh.
Dave,
Uh-oh.
oh, Dave froze. I said it, you said it, he didn't, he froze. There you
The
go.
storm is on him now.
Storm is on
He's lost
him.
internet, lost everything.
Oh, that's funny. That's great. I love it.
Hold on. Oh,
I
this
will-
is great. Hold
We'll
on.
wait for a story, but I
That
will.
pose is just perfect.
That's great. That's great. Actually, I'm going to take a screenshot. There you go.
Uh-oh, you're going too.
No. I because I hit the screenshot, like an automatic
Oh, that's-
screenshot where I didn't
oh,
have
I
to.
got you. Yeah. Oh,
Anyway.
that's great.
But in any event, he the other thing I was going to say is, do you remember back in the day? I mean, we're all the same age here, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember back in the day when we used to go into bars and wings were 10 cents?
Oh my God, you could go like with $4 and eat to your heart's content.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
That was back. I remember when I was.
And it wasn't really. I mean, it was long ago. To me, I don't think it was that long ago, but it was. I mean, 30 years more ago. 30 years or more ago.
I was in college. I got a job with my friend in Chicago.
Right.
With Chicago, there was a little dive bar down the street, and they had 25-cent pint night. It was like Pabst Blue Ribbon,
whatever,
25-cent pints.
Right.
You'd walk in with $2 and you'd go home drunk as a skunk. With $2.
Yeah.
Oh, 25. You don't get 25-cent pint nights.
You don't anymore. Well, you get over here at
bar pint night.
Yeah, over here at Bar A, they do have beat the clock. It starts at 50 cents. And every 15 minutes goes up a quarter. So it starts at 8 o'clock. So it's 50 cents, 75, $1, $1.25, $1.50, boom, 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 boom. So by the time it gets to 11 o'clock, it's regular price, you know.
So you know how we used to beat that one in college? You drink the beer with a straw. That's how you get through that. That's how you get a beer down in 15 minutes. So you can to the next one, the next one.
So you get the next one, see?
Yeah. You drink a beer with a straw. It goes down so
a lot faster, yeah.
A lot faster.
Just think about how fast to drink a soda with a straw or an iced tea with a straw. Yeah, of course it's gonna.
But those are the nights you just want to get hammered. You're not looking to.
Exactly. What happened there, Samurai? And he froze again. Look at this.
No, he didn't. Oh, that's a good picture. Oh, I gotta get that one. Oh, here we go. Hold on.
You get that one.
Oh, I love it.
Did you get it? You didn't get it?
I'm not fast enough on the camera. Darn it. Almost had him.
Brian Bogue said, used to go to a bar in Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach bar had 25-cent beers. Yeah, absolutely. We used to go. I used to have a meeting, and this isn't that long ago either. This is maybe going back to 2009, 2010. Used to go to a group I belonged to, marketing-wise, advertising-wise, in the city. He's back again. Alrighty.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. There he is.
No, he's not back.
Hey, are you back?
Always like that freeze right there.
There you go. What's funny is, hold on.
You guys are having the storms.
I'm going to show you this.
Show him the picture.
No. You're still, the other one's still on. Like,
is it?
Oh, is it really
it's
frozen?
not on my screen.
Yeah, here. I'll actually do it on my phone.
Very interesting. No, it's
it's the one. It's the second one up. It's the second one up. You're still frozen.
It's not going to work.
There.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Oh, and it finally went away. There you go.
Yeah. Yes.
But anyway,
you guys are in the middle of storms. I'm the one having drizzle, and I'm the one who loses power. No, we lost power.
You lost power?
Your power went out, right?
Yeah, we're on generator right now.
There you go. You got your own generator?
The building does.
The building does. Okay.
It's the size of a minibus, a minivan.
Huge,
lovely.
Right? Big Generac thing.
Oh yeah, it's
big generator. That was a great Yes album. Big Generator.
It was a good Yes album.
But
you gotta be old enough to get that.
I know you do.
That's like 25-cent beers. You gotta be old enough. I haven't seen a 25-cent beer since the 80s.
I know, right? But anyway,
you can't even get a 25-cent beer at Founders Day at Cloverleaf anymore.
So really quick, this was what we did. So we used to have these meetings, these dinner meetings in the village, right off of Bleecker Street on Sullivan or Thompson or Sullivan. I forget it's an Italian restaurant we went to. But we always pre-gamed it. A bunch of us, we pre-gamed it at Kenny's Castaways off of Bleecker, right? And it's like I said, 2009, 2010. It's before Kenny's closed. They didn't close that much. Like maybe 2-3 years later, they closed. But
closed in the 90s.
Yeah. But we used to get. They used to have pickleback shots. Pickleback shot in a beer. It was $1 PBR, 16-ounce cans, and $1 pickleback shots. So for we'd show up there, we'd throw $6 down on the counter, get 2 PBRs, 2 pickleback shots, leave a $2 tip, and we were off to the meeting.
There you go.
So there you go.
Kenny's Castaways. So in the 90s, I played in a band for 10 years, and we used to go in and play Kenny's Castaways.
So did we. We probably played
We probably played the same time.
We probably played the same night. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Brother. You remember the band Brother?
Yeah, you never knew when you were going on. You never knew.
You never knew.
Could be 11 at night. You could be 2 in the morning.
We played there. We played a block down at the bitter end.
The bitter end. I played the bitter end. Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of great venues.
We played all the way down the end at CBGB's twice. So
I played CBGB's once. I got one CBGB in.
Gotcha.
Those are great. I played Stone Pony. I've got a bunch of shows at the Stone Pony.
We never played the Pony. I never played the Pony. Anyway, I didn't.
There was a bunch of them.
I know somebody that played
Trade
the Pony.
Trade Winds down at the shore back in the day. Played there.
Trade Winds, I played the Trade Winds. I played Trade Winds. Yeah. But at CBGB. So remember CBGB, the movie. Alan Rickman was.
I didn't see it.
So I'm watching it with Jess one night, and whatchamacallit, the bathroom scene with Iggy Pop, like they go in the bathroom or whatever, and it's disgusting, right? Of course. And she says, "Is that what the bathroom at CBGB's looked like?" I go, "Absolutely not. It was much worse.
It's worse. That was camera ready CBGB's. Camera ready. My signature was somewhere. I wrote on the wall there somewhere. We had so many good times. Mm-hmm. But those were you're trying to have fun, and you drag all your shit into New York City, and from New Jersey, it's like, oh my God, we're going to New York City. It's going to be a great night. And then you get home at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh yeah. Oh, remember those days fondly.
The younger days.
Oh yeah. Remember when you used to be able to do that?
Oh yeah. You used to be able to get up the next day and somewhat perform your job.
Somewhat.
Ish.
Yeah. All right. So I got my we'll stick to 6. I got one more chicken wing hot take for you. And it's for the two of you, right? Hot sauce. I was gonna go specific, but I'll let you do it. All right. Hot sauce, like hot, medium, extra hot, mild, whatever. So buffalo sauce or another flavor, whatever that other flavor may be.
Who goes first?
Chuck, you're the guest.
Oh, come on, really? So I used to like really hot sauces. I grew up in Louisiana. That's where I was born and raised. Mm-hmm. Mom's Cajun, so we did a lot of spices.
Shucks, you're a Saints fan. Shucks, you're from Louisiana. Shucks, you're from
figure, right? LSU and Saints. Although I am an Alabama fan for 4 years while my son's there.
I was going to say, gee, I wonder why. Yeah.
I have to forego my love for LSU for a little while. But New Iberia is where hot sauce is from. I mean, it is on the bottle. It's Tabasco sauce. It's from New Iberia, Louisiana. Yep. Yeah. So I tend, though, when I go out to dinner, I'm worried about the repercussions, right? I'm like, what's coming later? How upset is my stomach going to be? Am I burning a hole in my stomach? So I tend to go to more of the barbecue, the honeys. I do a little bit, maybe a little bit of heat. My sons love heat. They'll bury it in hot sauce. But,
well, they're young. They can do that.
Yeah, the young guys. I mean, come on. They don't care about anything. You know, they throw caution into the wind. I just have a respect for my body now, knowing what I can tolerate nowadays.
Is it respect or is it fear, Chuck?
A little both.
When I'm out to dinner, it's fear. I just don't want to be on the car ride home going, oh God.
I need to pull over, and God, I hope
I gotta pull over. Right?
I hope that's not poison ivy.
Yeah, right. So, but at home, I'm a little bit more to the hot side. I probably have 15 bottles of hot sauce, different flavors and ghost peppers and stuff. I love that at home when I'm in that controlled environment. And I know.
I lean
a little heavier.
You're very much more comfortable eating hot sauces at home.
I think everybody should.
I get it. I'm there.
If I have access,
we had a hot sauce in our drinks on the cocktail show last week. So
if I have access to my flushable wipes, I'm brave.
We're gonna go, yeah.
But for me, it's both. When I do a lot of wings at home. We did wings tonight. We did wings last week. Oh God, it was earlier this week. No, last week because it's still only Tuesday. But last week we just did buffalo wings. But I do both. I always do buffalo sauce, and then I branch out on something else. One of my favorite sauces I call carbonara sauce.
Carbonara?
Yeah, because it's bacon, it's cheese, and it's cream
On wings.
on wings. That's one of my favorite sauces I do.
It's interesting.
But my favorite non-buffalo sauce is actually just Dr. Nut barbecue sauce with some chipotle in it.
So
And
let me ask you about this sauce, this cheese sauce with bacon, and is it so do you have 3 different kind of elements that you dip it in cheese and you put the coating in bacon, or is it all in a
Nope, I make
thing and you just roll them through it?
I make the sauce. The wings go into one of the big metal mixing bowls. Pour the sauce over it, toss them, and serve them out of that.
Because it sounds like it would be one of those really good builders, right? You put one coating on, then you roll it in the bacon, you roll it in the. But if you put them all together, I can imagine you get a really good coating, right? You kind of stir them up in there.
Yeah, definitely get a good coating. And the thing is, even when you're done with all the wings, and maybe the next time I do it, I'll do the rolling in the bacon because there's too much bacon left in the bowl when you're done, and you wind up grabbing
settles down to the bottom, right?
Yeah, and you wind up. Well, it's thick enough that it doesn't settle; it might float a little bit. But yeah, when you're done with the wings, you normally wind up grabbing a spoon to make sure the bacon doesn't go to waste.
Do you have a particular cheese that you use? My kids are really. It's funny. My kids are home and they suddenly found that they want to be foodies, right? So they're, oh, Dad, I got to go get this cheese. I want to make this really good sauce, Dad. I want you to try it, and it's fun to watch them get into it. I'm just wondering when you go through building a sauce, do you go through the same thing? Like, I got to have a very particular cheese.
Well, when it comes to like the grated cheeses now, Locatelli's Pecorino Romano that's the king. That's the king of the grated cheeses. And so we always have Locatelli in the house. And that's the carbonara sauce. It's heavy cream, it's carbonara, and it's bacon.
The heavy cream makes a world of difference, right? You get that.
Makes a world of difference.
Viscosity to it, yeah.
Yep. That's why the bacon floats rather than settles to the bottom.
Yeah.
And you're looking for the but you're looking for the coating of the wing. Like when I make my buffalo sauce, I doctor it. Yes, it's Frank's. Yes, it's butter. That's your classic buffalo sauce. But I also add so the hot sauce that I used in the Bloody Mary, John. The last batch I did, I poured a bunch of that in, also with a little honey to counter that heat.
The Butches
Butches.
The Butches,
yeah. The Butches, something fire, Hellfire.
Butches. Well, I just had ghost peppers in mine.
This one's a blend with scorpions, reapers. So, yeah, this thing carries
like 50,000 Scovin, 60,000.
It's up there.
It's amazing. Yeah, tons like. Immeasurable Scoville units.
Yeah, you're.
But I do it that way. Part of the way to coat a wing with is the butter in buffalo sauce helps coat that wing. But I put all the other stuff in it, so I also make a little bit of slurry with cornstarch to thicken it up and give it some body, so it really, really coats the wing.
There you go.
So that's the way I do my buffalo sauce.
That's the secret. That's a chef's secret right there.
Well, there you go. There's a
little tricks of the trade, man.
Little kitchen hack.
Quick aside, you talk about Scoville units and heat and everything else. I remember years ago, I don't even know if it's still on there. It might be. I don't know. I haven't looked in years. But Coleman's mustard used to have in the nutritional information, everything else, where the Scoville units would be. It used to have a rating for energy.
Energy.
Hey, I'm not kidding you.
What is this energy rating going to give you? What is
not a clue. You turn
radioactivity
Coleman's over and it said energy.
Yeah. The rads. I don't. The thing
is rads. Yeah. So I got one more for you. All right. And I wasn't going to say this, but it has to be said.
Say it.
Blue cheese or ranch?
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese always.
All right. How to say it? Say it.
And it's not just blue cheese. Hold on, it's chunky blue cheese.
It's got to be chunky blue cheese. Yeah.
You got to dip that. When you dip it in, you want things clinging on to the side. Like you want it in there.
Yes, you do.
How does ranch compete with blue cheese? I don't even get.
I think somebody had blue cheese that didn't have any more chunks in it.
It's not blue cheese then.
It's not blue cheese.
No,
it's Roquefort dressing at that point, right?
Right. Exactly.
But one thing I used to do all the time, mix, and it's kind of like what you were saying, mix, instead of just taking barbecue sauce and putting chipotle in it.
Mhm.
Mixing hot sauce, buffalo sauce, and barbecue. The two.
And if you're going to do that, and you want
Mix the two.
that chipotle flavor, yes, Tabasco does a really good chipotle sauce. But I actually like. Oh, I just forgot the brand. The one that's got the wooden topper on it. Cholula. Cholula's chipotle sauce is spectacular.
Cholula's chipotle is very, very good. And Brian Boak says buffalo and blue. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There you
you
go.
gotta have the
Chunky
blue.
blue. Chunky
All right,
blue.
one more question each, and it's moving on to the ice cream.
Ice cream. Well, I got a couple on the ice cream.
Tonight is.
It's
I guess you're
national-
going to go two anyway, but
It's the National Creative Ice Cream flavor
Yeah.
today.
all right. So you do both of them. I don't need to do one.
So the thing about creative, well, my second one's kind of weak. So if you've got one, do it. But my first one,
Depends on what your first one.
creative ice cream flavors. No one was better at it than Ben and Jerry's. So what is your favorite Ben and Jerry's?
Cherry Garcia.
100% cherry.
Cherry Garcia. Okay, that was an easy one.
Come on.
Okay.
That's an easy one. That's a slam dunk right there. Come on.
Then what's your second? My second's Chubby Hubby.
Chubby Hubby is a good one.
Chubby Hubby's good.
Very-
Fish food's actually my second.
Fish food's good too.
Okay.
Yep.
I like Chubby. I like the crunch of the pretzel, the peanut butter. Oh, I love Chubby Hubby. I haven't had
There's
that in a while.
something that combination is so just amazing for
Peanut
me.
butter and pretzel. Yeah.
I love any. I like peanut butter ripple it's like a vanilla ice cream, but it's got peanut butter kind of through it. But there's sections you'll hit where the peanut butter's like hardened.
Yeah. Crust. Yeah.
It's like crusty, right?
It's almost like brittle.
You dig through till you hit that chunk of peanut butter. You're like, I got one.
Right.
But I found what's really good is you take peanut butter ripple that you buy in the container, and then you take Jif peanut butter and you add that to it. Swirl that in.
I've done that a bunch. I've done that. We get what's the one from Friendly's Moose Tracks?
Yes.
Is it Friendly's or is it Turkey Hill?
No, that's Turkey Hill.
Probably.
Turkey.
Yeah, probably. It's one of the two.
It's one of the two. Yeah. So, but I've done that. I've taken it, put it in a bowl, and then put more peanut butter in it.
You got to add a little bit, and you add the creamy peanut butter, and then it really mixes in nicely with the ice cream, and then it starts to congeal. You get that nice flavor.
But I love that flavor combination so much. There's times when we've got pretzels in the closet, and I'll grab a little bowl. We call them monkey dishes.
Wasn't that a movie back in the 80s? Pretzels in the Closet.
Pretzels in the closet.
Oh, it's Flowers in the Attic. I'm sorry.
You should know the author's name, V.C. Andrews. Anyway,
Yeah.
put some peanut butter in a little bowl, and I grab the pretzels, and I'm just dipping the pretzels in the peanut butter.
Yeah.
I mean that's been done already. I mean that's not even an ice cream thing.
That's Chubby Hubby.
Just do it. Just do it.
But I don't.
Brian Boak said Cherry Garcia, and then
go.
the second is salted caramel.
Yeah, there you go.
Salted caramel is really good too.
That is.
Although I can't eat ice cream like I used to. I'd get a tub of ice cream. I could eat the whole tub in one night.
I used to do that. I used to get a tub of ice cream all the time. Now I am a tub.
Not at all.
Oh man, now courts. There's a place I mentioned Cluck You Chicken earlier. Cluck You Chicken. We go to it on Rutgers campus. I went to Rutgers. Not too far from there is Thomas Sweets, and Thomas Sweets would do these blend-ins where you'd order your base ice cream and then all the toppings, your wet toppings, dry toppings. And then they'd put it on this big corkscrew thing, and they'd blend it all in and hand it to you. And my friend and I would always order a pint, and they'd do it, and they'd go to put a lid on it. We're like, no, just a spoon. We'd sit there, eat the whole pint in the place, and they thought that we were crazy. But I don't see how that was crazy. I think most people can sit down and polish off a pint without a problem.
It's the one thing I miss when you think about ice cream, right? We just brought up Friendlies, right? Friendlies, You can go to the store, you can get Friendlies in the containers.
You could get a happy ending.
I wasn't going there.
That's what they called it one day. They called it a happy ending.
I was going to say the Jim Dandy or something like that.
Oh, the Jim Dandy was great.
Remember the
Fribbles? Oh, that was just their milkshake.
It was just a milkshake, but it was such a good
Fribble,
milkshake.
It was a
Fribble,
great
yeah.
milkshake. You would give yourself an aneurysm trying to drink that milkshake.
Trying to suck it in through a straw.
Yeah.
And they had, remember those really fat straws they had?
Yeah.
Big ones,
You
yeah, they're
couldn't
huge.
drink-
Yeah,
A regular straw would just collapse under pressure. The suction
Yeah.
would pull the
it wouldn't
sides.
work. It wouldn't work. Yeah, it would.
It wouldn't work.
And the end of the straw had a little spoon on it too.
That's
Yes,
right, they did.
because you could
Yeah.
scoop it before it got
They
like, a little bit defrosted, so you
Right.
can enjoy it.
They were just this side of a Wendy's Frosty.
Oh yeah.
Just
Figure
this
out.
side.
It was
like real ice cream.
Well, Wendy's Frosty is just
There's no,
just shy of ice cream. So
I don't think there's any dairy in the Wendy's Frosty.
I don't either, but there you go.
Although so I'll ask this question: Wendy, what's the one that?
Brian Book said, "What is the one that has Reese's Pieces in it? The Ben and Jerry's."
I don't know which one that is.
I'll check it out while you tell your story.
Is that world? That's not World Peace, is it?
I don't think so. Yeah, I'll check it.
I don't know. Ooh.
I'll check that while you tell your story, Joe.
I was gonna ask when you guys have a Wendy's shake and you get your French fries, are the French fries going in the shake?
100%.
I just got to make sure.
Yes.
It's the only way to enjoy your French fry from Wendy's.
That's why you get a Frosty.
That's why you get the Frosty, right? You dip it in, pull it out, covered in.
And the best thing is the first time you do that in front of someone who's never done that, and they're looking at you like you're an
Like,
alien.
what are you crazy? What's that?
And then they do it, and they never stop doing
Never
it.
stop doing it. Once you do it, you
Just-
can't stop.
Gotta do
You
it.
can't stop. It's so much fun. It's the best French fry you'll ever
I think
have.
it's just called peanut butter cup, John.
It's peanut butter cup. Yeah,
It's just peanut butter cup.
Peanut
yeah.
butter cup. Yeah, peanut butter cup.
Well, that lacks a lot of.
Yeah, that's at the
Have either of you been to Ben and Jerry's up in Vermont?
No, I plan to.
I
do
have.
it.
Jess and I have gone there, and they actually have a graveyard out back of names they'll never use again. They've retired them, and they've actually
Put them in the ground.
They've put them in the ground. It's actually you can go visit. So you can walk around the
old
ice
flavors.
cream cemetery graveyard to see what the flavors that they won't ever use again.
And I hear there's like a lab where you can make up your own combination, and if they really, really like it, it'll be.
They'll
good
use
with
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's really
I'm gonna step back and grab
cool.
a beer.
Go.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, go for it.
Can I step out for a second?
Go for it.
All right.
It's really cool. It really is. Yeah, going up to Ben and Jerry's, and the best thing about where Ben and Jerry's is there's a really lot of good beer around there.
Yeah, Prohibition Pig's not too far.
Pig's not too far.
Alchemist is right down the road.
Alchemist is right there. Von Trapp's even closer.
Nice.
Von Trapp's right there, basically. And there's a new one that opened up. Damn it. It's all lowercase. It starts with an F. Damn it. Help me out here.
It's called. Is it called Forgetful Brewing?
It's called Forgetful Brewing. Yes. I can pull this up and look really quick here.
Chuck, what are you drinking there? That's dark.
So, in the spirit of what you guys are having, I went dark. I went with my black IPA.
Oh,
There you go.
nice
malty
I
backbone. but
love how the glass matches your shirt.
It almost like you can't see the beer itself.
Now that you've got the black,
Freak folk brewing. Yeah, freak folk beer. Actually,
that is an apt name for.
it's very weird.
In,
I have not. We went to go there after they opened. Last time we were up there, and they were closed. Unfortunately, Matt has been there though. That went by. Anyway, go ahead, Chuck.
You're just-
No, I was just saying. I poured a black IPA. It was available. I was going around the bar.
There you go.
I went along the taps. I'm like, dark.
There we
Done.
go.
There you
I've
go.
got a milk stout down there, but
There
I'd have to
you go.
walk a little bit further.
All right.
I was missing you guys already. I was gone.
We appreciate
We missed you too.
All right. We'll finish up beer talk after, but I think with all of this hop take talk, I think it's time for our top 3 list.
Our top 3 list where we honor International Reggae Day.
Because it's the 3 days that we talked about. We talked about Chicken Wing Day. We talked about Creative Flavored Ice Cream Flavor Day. Now it's International Reggae Day. So our list tonight is top 3 favorite reggae songs. Now this is all inclusive, right? This isn't reggae artists. This is reggae songs. Songs that are reggae songs, if you will. So it includes a lot more, if you will. Chuck, please start us off,
If you will.
if you will.
All right. So truth be told, not the biggest reggae fan in the world,
I
Well,
sense a lot of
but
there are some songs that I absolutely think are awesome. When I was a kid growing up, there was a band called Bonnie M. I don't know if you remember that.
Hold on, I need to interrupt Chuck real quick.
Go ahead.
Bring up Brian's post here, because we got to stay on the last topic because this is hilarious.
all right, he said, "Do you know that Ben and Jerry's has a pint lock that I bought to protect my ice cream from my wife?" No,
That's
I
amazing.
didn't. I wish I did.
Yep, I
Can
need
you send pictures in the chat? Can
Yeah,
you
please.
Please let us know.
That's amazing.
That's
Okay, sorry,
great.
Chuck.
I had
Love
no idea, but it makes sense to me.
Yes, it does.
I bring ice cream home. My wife's like, "I'm not going to eat your ice cream. Don't worry about it. I'm not going
And
to
it-
eat it."
5 minutes
Go
later.
downstairs, like half the pint's gone.
Oh,
Where'd
right.
my ice cream go, honey?
I ate the top half. Oh, you do realize that the top half is like 2/3 of the container, right?
Although that helps in the peanut butter ripple, I'll just kind of throw back a little bit.
Because you
Peanut
get
butter
more on the
ripple is
bottom.
better
On
when
the
you
bottom.
skim the top because the peanut butter ripple is actually the better parts at the bottom.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
that's
You're
just
not wrong. You're not wrong.
not hurting me in that.
All right. So anyway,
So I was saying, so in the 70s, there's a band called Bonnie M. They did a song called Rivers of Babylon.
Okay.
Okay. Do you bring them up? Do you play them? Or do we just say them?
No, just saying them. Yeah.
Oh, and I know Sublime did a version of it. It
Yes,
was one of
they
those
did.
songs that a lot of different bands did. But I remember seeing that as a kid, and I'm like, well, it's kind of interesting. I like them. Bonnie M was one of those bands they did they did the song about Rasputin and stuff. It was kind of a cool band. I think other than that, I'm less song oriented, more artist, because I think about, and of course you can't have a night without Bob Marley, right? So you go through like Stir It Up.
There's 2 Daves on the screen.
There twice again.
What the heck happened, dude?
and the good feed is gone.
All right, I'm just gonna keep snapping pictures of all. All right,
And it's back to us.
it's
There
just
you
a
go.
crazy conversation now between the two of us. Joe.
It's good. Oh,
What's going on over there? He went from we just
He's
have a
back.
sprinkle. It's
There
nothing
I
to
am.
worry
yeah,
about.
yeah.
He's got the worst. Everything's shutting down over there. You sure it's not really bad weather over there?
it doesn't look like that outside. It just keeps. I wonder if they turned if we came off of generator power and went onto regular power,
Oh yeah, you went
and that
back.
knocked the modem out.
All right, hold on a minute. Brian did just say, "John, see your text," and he just texted me. That is the pint lock.
Oh my gosh!
That's
So that fits over the top. It's got a lock over the top of the container. God, that's great. Is it a combination lock? I can't tell from the picture.
Looks like it is. Yeah,
ISO. Need
that's
one of those.
great.
It's freaking awesome.
That's awesome.
He could pop
Anyway.
that up on eBay and get like $100 for it.
At least, yeah. Order like 100 of them, keep one, and sell 99 of them.
Sell
right?
the rest of them, right?
Yeah.
So
Little cottage
I
industry.
came back and I heard Chuck was talking about Bob Marley.
Yeah. So finish.
No, I'm not. Again, I'm not a reggae fan, but Bob Marley has. When I think about reggae, you can't
You
avoid.
can't not think about Bob Marley, of course.
No Woman Don't Cry, One Love, Stirred Up. I mean, you could go through Redemption Song. He's
Three
just got the
Little Birds.
list. But UB40, you get like the red wine in there.
Yeah.
If I got to do three, that's the other one. But I just don't. I don't know what it is about reggae.
And I asked this. I was talking to Dave before about this. Obviously, who wrote? And I'm sure you know. And if you don't, we'll tell you. But I'm sure you know who wrote Redwood One.
All right, give me a second on this one. It's got to be somebody from the 50s. Late
Nope.
50s, early 60s.
60s, yes. 60s, 70s, 80s, and
60s,
on.
70s, 80s. Was it a disco version before UB40?
Nope.
Oh my
No.
Not
god,
at all.
my brain now.
I just got a
A
message.
woman named. You did?
Tavor just shit like crazy.
Oh, there you go.
What'd you order? What'd you get?
A woman named Caroline really liked this guy.
She was sweet.
She was very sweet.
So who was the original artist? Now you got me.
The guy that wrote Sweet Caroline.
No way.
Neil Diamond wrote.
Neil
Redwood
Diamond
Wine.
wrote that?
Redwood Wine, yeah. Yes, he did.
It's a completely different version.
Of course it
now
is.
that I'm doing it,
100%. Yeah.
it's a very slow.
Neil Diamond
song.
did not write the reggae version that UB40 did.
No. But now that you say it, now I can hear the song in my head. It is it's kind of a slow, very
lounge kind of.
Yeah.
It's not the red wine from UB40, that's for sure. God, that's right. So yeah, okay. All right, you got me on that one. That's good. Caroline.
There you go.
Caroline. Nice.
Caroline liked it.
That was
and
good.
then Dave, she was sweet.
Is she sweet?
It was sweet. She was.
She was.
Ba, ba, ba. There you go. All right. All right.
Sorry, I wish I could give you guys more for.
No. I think Dave and I will cover it.
We'll make up for.
We'll make up for it
because I actually split my list into two.
Well, of course,
I'm curious if I know your song.
His list. You know what? Give us your list, and let me do mine, and then you could give us your second list. How's that?
Well, the list that are split into two is one is actually reggae artists, and then my top three non-reggae artists.
Why don't you give us your top 3 reggae songs globally, and then I'll give mine, and then
because I can't. I'll give you the reggae artist song.
There you go. All right.
I'll give that because they're two separate things.
Fair enough.
Number 3 is "Sweat" by Inner Circle. You probably know the song. La 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 la.
Oh,
la,
yeah.
La, 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 la.
Oh, yeah.
All he said was a lot, and I got
La, 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 la. That's my number 3.
Long.
That's the one. My number 2 is every fucking song ever written by Bob Marley. No. That was Carrie coughing in the next video. But my number 2 is every damn song written by Bob Marley sits in number.
Hold on, type in every
damn
fucking song
written by Bob Marley sits at number 2.
There's no bad song. How do you pick a bad Bob Marley song?
There isn't any. You can't do it.
Stir it up, ooh, darling.
We jam.
That song probably one of my favorites, just from a story perspective.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
But my number 1 is 1865, 96 Degrees in the Shade by Third World. This I had heard this.
Sing a line so I could catch up with you.
It goes 96 degrees in the shade, real hot in the shade.
Who's that by?
It's by Third World. It's not a real well-known song, and then it breaks into the reggae beat after they do this a cappella first, and it's just an amazing song.
I'm going to throw that on the Spotify after this.
It's such a great song, and that's my number 1. So then I'll let John go into his number 3 and see how many of my non-reggae artists he managed to nab.
There you
go. Okay, just hold on.
He's still typing.
I'm typing your stuff. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one over mention, and then my top 3, and then Dave can have at his other stuff.
Are we going to know these songs?
Oh, you'll know.
Okay.
Yeah. My honorable mention is an actual reggae song.
Okay.
Okay. And that would be it would be cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, dollar.
5 cent.
5 cent, 10 cent.
That's Calypso.
That's Calypso? That's not really
reggae.
Calypso. Calypso. I don't think
that's Calypso. That's not reggae.
Well, it's
I'm with you on this one.
Well, it's honorable mention, so there you go.
It was honorable mention. It doesn't really.
It doesn't really
because it's not in the category.
My number 3. Call it no, but you know what? I mean, all right, let's call it a blend. It's a Calypso reggae song.
All right.
If it makes you feel better, okay.
There you go. All right. So my number 3 was just cute that I wanted to throw
like a Calypso classic.
My number 3 is "Close to You" by Maxi Priest.
Oh, do I know this one?
How is that a reggae?
Just
song?
like me.
It's reggae. It's got a reggae beat. It's a reggae. It's Maxi Priest is definitely
I'm gonna have to go back and listen.
Yeah,
back
go
and
listen to
I
that
could
one.
have sworn that was more R&B.
Oh, it's definitely R&B, but it's got a reggae back to it. It's
Mm.
definitely Maxi Priest is definitely in that realm of reggae-ness.
All right.
All right. My number two.
Yep.
My number two is Roxanne.
From the Police?
Yeah.
It's funny because everyone thinks it's a reggae song. I disagree that it's a reggae song.
I don't. Clearly.
It's
I guess so. It's number two.
because a reggae beat is everything's on the downbeat, but Roxanne is down up, so it's off down up down off down up off, and so that's not reggae.
So Dave is definitely surgically dissecting my top three list tonight.
I just don't. I hear what you're saying. The Police do a lot of reggae stuff.
It's
reggae adjacent.
It's reggae adjacent.
Is it the guitar riff that you think it drags it into that? It's got a good kind of upbeat on the guitar as he's coming
On the guitar. The bass line, however, which defines reggae, is not
well,
that.
the drums define reggae, not the bass line, but the bass line with the drums. But
It's the rhythm section.
The rhythm
defines
section defines it.
Right.
Yeah.
Although Stuart plays an amazing. That's a great drum track. If you listen,
That's
to
so good.
drum track
Fantastic song.
Phenomenal.
So, but funny thing about that, you have heard this, like in the beginning of the song when it's just Andy Summers, and the song starts, you hear like a piano chord and laughing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That was in the studio. It was Sting sitting down on a piano and then laughed, and they left it.
You hear it. It's like a split second.
It's a split second, and they left it in. Yeah. It's great.
Yep.
Well, like the end of Sergeant Pepper's where the chair moves.
Right. All right. Shit. But my number one is Jammin' from Bob Marley. Jammin'. Jammin's my number one. Yeah, that was my favorite Bob Marley song. And yes, I will admit on the show right now that there's part of me on occasion, depending on the mood I'm in, and it's usually when I'm driving at night when I need to zone out and mellow out or whatever, I will put some smooth jazz on. All right. And
do you guys like jazz?
I do. Weather station jazz?
Yeah.
Smooth jazz?
No. Yeah.
Elevator jazz?
Yeah. The Weather Channel jazz, right? The Weather Channel.
That's stuff.
But Grover Washington Jr. actually did a cover of Jammin'. That was actually very good.
I don't think I've heard of that.
And I'll throw you one more I'll mention out there, and it's not a reggae song. That's why I kept it. It's not a reggae song, but there's a section of it that's reggae.
Breaks down to reggae.
Right, and that would be "Spirit of Radio" from Rush.
Yes, there is that section. He has to bring Rush up every time we talk music. He's legally obligated.
All right, go ahead. How about the rest of yours?
So, my three that are non-reggae.
Are you doing artists or songs? You were going to do artists.
No, songs. These are songs.
Okay.
Songs by non-reggae artists. So my number three was Jamaica by Led Zeppelin. And the reason it's number three is because they're doing it to make fun of reggae. Not to say, hey, we like reggae, we're going to do it. They're actually making fun of it. So that's why it sits at number three. Number two is The Tide is High by Blondie. Mm-hmm. Straight up reggae song. Yeah. And then number one for me is Watching the Detectives by Elvis Costello.
What a great song. Holy cow.
And
what a good one.
It's like, you're just like, really, that's reggae? And then you're like, holy fuck, that's reggae.
But that's almost like Police, right? That's like Roxanne, because it's the guitar that does that upstroke on the on the rhythm.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it. That's the element of reggae in there. I get it. So Watching the Detectives is a great song.
It's
not a great video.
It's not my favorite Elvis Costello song.
Which is what would your?
That would be Allison.
Of course, everybody goes to Allison.
Yeah, you got to go for that.
Oliver's Army's great.
Yeah, come on.
What's so funny about Peace, Love, and Understanding?
What's so funny about Peace, Love, and Understanding? And what's the damn it? No, I'll
Damn
take
it.
No, damn it, no. About 6 years ago, I actually saw a concert at Forest Hills Country Club in Queens. And you know who it was?
Elvis Costello.
It was Elvis Costello with Blondie opening up.
Wow.
Dude, I
So-
saw a concert.
So you went to a reggae jam.
I back in my corporate days used to do the Salesforce. You know, they have this big Salesforce conference out in San
Yep.
Francisco, and I went out. We went to the baseball stadium in San Francisco. It was Blondie opening up for Green Day.
Oh,
Green
wow.
Day played in the middle of a torrential, like tonight kind of storm,
Right.
and I remember the canopy that was over the stage had collected so much water that it started to buckle.
Oh boy.
This guy climbed up. He climbed up the side of the scaffolding, and you saw him just like swing, and he hit the tarp on the top, and like 10,000 gallons of water came crashing down on the front row, so that they could continue the show because Green Day wouldn't come out with all that water kind of stuck up over
Yeah.
there. But I was like 5 feet from Blondie that night.
It's funny that she
phenomenal.
goes out there for that. Carrie goes out for a conference called Workday Rising, and they move it around. It's going to be in San Francisco this year. We went there 2 years ago. The Killers were the show, and what they do is they give you a little bit of a hint every year because they haven't announced who it is yet.
Mhm.
And the way they gave the hint, they said Disco Balls will be in the house. I think Panic at the Disco is going to be the act this year,
Interesting.
which will be interesting. Last year was in Vegas. I didn't go, and it was Gwen Stefani.
Yeah,
So-
I will say, I always thought Green Day was a little bit of an attitude band. You know
They're a little emo, right? Yeah.
well, yeah, but I thought it was more like ego stuff. The system had, when the water came down, it hit a lot of the instruments and things got shorted out. They were trying to get it going again. And the lead singer for Green Day came out with an acoustic guitar, sat in the middle of the stage, right? And we're all standing waiting for the show to happen. And he played for like a half an hour, at least, maybe 45 minutes. He just sat there and strummed songs and sang as loud as he could to keep the crowd going until the electronics came back up. And then the rest of the band came out and joined him on stage. And then they did their whole performance after that. When they
Oh, that's cool.
It was just a great night to go through, Blondie playing all of her classic songs and watching her out there. And then Green Day, and he just sat there. Billy Corgan, he just sat there on a stool and just strummed his guitar
That's
and
cool.
played as loud as he could because there was no amplifiers or anything.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's
It was
really cool.
really, really cool.
Blondie, born and raised in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Hawthorne, New Jersey.
What part?
Hawthorne, New Jersey. Yep. She actually graduated high school with my buddy Bob's aunt back in '60, whatever.
Have you heard that story where she actually escaped the Zodiac killer?
What?
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, there's a story. He was in New York, and she's walking along and she gets picked up by this guy. When she gets in the car, she realized there's something wrong because there's no door handle, and it locks on her. And she manages to actually get the window down enough that she can reach out, open it from the outside, and runs out of the car. And the description she gave was no, it wasn't the Zodiac killer. It was Bundy. It was, I forget who it was, but it was one of the serial killers. She gave the description because they never got a description of the Zodiac killer. Well, maybe they did, but she actually did manage to escape one of those guys when he was in New York City.
Al Bundy.
Al Bundy.
Al Bundy.
It was Al Bundy, not Ted Bundy.
It was Al Bundy.
Al Bundy.
Al Bundy.
He was wearing his Polk High School football jersey.
God.
Did I tell you at the time I scored 3 touchdowns?
Oh, you gotta love it. Oh, geez. All right.
I would have to escape that one too.
There you go. Brian just said it's as far as the pint lock goes. It slides on.
It was Ted Bundy, by the way.
It was Ted
Yeah.
Bundy.
It was Ted Bundy.
Wow.
Slides on from the bottom, and the top slides over the top and slides into the combo lock.
It is a combo lock.
The combo lock. There you
Very
go.
nice.
So it's like this around the container.
Man, the
kinda
container, yeah.
on the top, and then you come up from the bottom, and
Yeah.
it's-
You're not getting any of this. Thank you.
This is mine.
This one is mine.
My wife would literally take a knife to the side of the cardboard.
Yeah.
Leave the fucking rock in the freezer. And she'd be like, "Oh, easy to open container. Just take the bottom off."
Yeah, really, right? It's not like the container's made of metal.
I think
or
I
rock.
realized why the lock wasn't such a big success.
These
Like
things are
cardboard
actually
container.
they're called Euphoria locks. And you can buy one new sealed on eBay right now for $40.
Yeah.
$40, come on.
$40.
50-cent
So,
knife will break that.
You're being under.
Exactly.
Oh, wait a second. They actually have it
Take
on
a
Amazon.
fork. Just poke around it, rip it off, and just eat. There you go.
Let's see. They have it. Oh, it's currently unavailable on Amazon. So,
All right.
but on Amazon, it only gets a 3.1 rating
Out of.
Because it's so useless.
because Chuck's wife can get into it so
Doesn't
easily.
work.
Uh,
I've already beaten the system.
there you go. Hold on. Here you go. One night she cut out the bottom.
There you go. See, there you go. She broke the combo.
Oh, good for you, Jen. Good for you.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Love it. What would have been really good is if she actually figured out how to get it completely off of there, and then get another pint of ice cream and put it on and change
It's a
the
different
combo.
combination.
Change the combo.
All right,
Figure
your
it out.
turn. There you go. There you go.
That's great.
All right. All right. So what's coming up in the next few months, rest of the summer into the fall wise for Jersey Girl?
Oh, for us, you know what? The good thing is the state gave us these licenses, these off-premise licenses.
Right.
So we partner with local farms, we partner with the community, the town, and we're going to be doing a lot of off-site events.
Someone's
Start
got to
with
get
the
the
carnival.
cow. Someone's got to get the cow.
Did you just do something at Ort's Farm the other day or a couple?
We do we have part of their farmers market. We have a beer shed over there, and
Nice.
we do 4-pack sales on the weekends, Fridays and Saturdays. We're adding. We do Saturdays, Sundays. We're adding Fridays.
Do you
now.
do pours there?
What's that?
You do pours there or just sell?
We don't pour. No, we don't. We pour on the events where we pour. I have a beer trailer, and we bring our beer trailer. We actually pour under the license conditions of the confinement offense and stuff like that. So we do those events there for sure. Those are good. We do a lot of events with Mount Olive Township. We do Carnival. We just did Block Party. Wharton Township. We do their summer concert series. And bring our beer. I think it's just those are the fun things, right? You have the sample room as an entity, but when we fought for that legislative change, we got 25 permits a year that we could do off site, and that's where you get to bring the beer to the people, and those are really fun. That's kind of what's taken over for beer festivals.
Right. It has.
Much attendance at
You're
beer
right.
festivals, but people do these community events, and you get one brewery, and we bring usually 3 beers and a hard seltzer. And try to offer something, across. Usually it's a lager, IPA, and then an amber or dark beer, and give people a little bit of choice there. But
I like dark
things.
beers.
What's that?
I like dark beers.
I do too. I think dark beers are year-round beers. I think everybody's like, oh, you can't have a stout in the summertime. You can't have a
I
pilsner.
like dark beers, and I cannot lie. Oh, here we go again.
And they changed the song now.
We're back again. It's a circle. There you
It's the circle.
go.
But it's fun. I mean, we just put Oktoberfest. I brewed Oktoberfest yesterday.
Did you?
So we put that in the tanks because I want to let that lager a bit. I really want to let that one sit for a little
Is it a
while.
Meritzen or Fest beer?
It's a Meritzen. It's a new recipe though. I wrote a new recipe this year. I wanted to change it up a little bit as a Meritzen. So just change my grain profile. We put 33 pounds of hops in between the Boyle and the Whirlpool editions. So it's going to be a bit different this year, but I'm excited for it. It's time for a little bit of change, and
Nice.
I'm happy to do those recipes.
That works.
But it's been crazy. I've brewed the last 4 days. I brewed Sunkissed Citra today, Oktoberfest yesterday, Pilsner on Friday, and Rake Breaker on Thursday. So we put 120 barrels of beer in the tanks in 4 days.
Wow.
Which is, yeah.
You're an animal.
Yeah.
I tell you what,
And he comes on this show. You need a and you've got
I
a
told
meeting
John, I said,
tomorrow.
I gotta go home and get in the pool for about half an hour. And then as soon as I got home, it was a beautiful day. I mean, it was gorgeous outside all day long. As soon as I got in the pool, this big freaking mass of clouds came over and everything just opened up and ruined me. So I just came over to the brewery. Just came over. I'm like,
and then you become an old man yelling at clouds.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, as a brewery owner, the thing that's killing craft beer right now in New Jersey is the weather.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Weather plays a big part of it. And not to beat a dead horse, so to speak, but we've talked about it on the show before. Just to get your take on it, we've said, I think it's two things, right? And I've talked to a lot of people on this, getting their opinions. It's two things. One, it's certainly RTDs and seltzers and weed is big in this too, right? But it's the younger people, because like anybody that has been drinking beer, they didn't stop drinking beer. Maybe they're drinking a little less beer, but they're still drinking beer. It's the youngers, it's the 21s to 26-year-olds that beer and any drinking for that matter is a social activity, right? And the length of their social activity, and I'm stereotyping, right? I'm not clearly there's some people that are in that age group out there that don't fit this bill, but for the most part, their social activity is, sitting home, doom scrolling on TikTok or playing World of Warcraft and eating half a gummy. That's their social activity.
Well, it's not World of Warcraft anymore, but yes.
Well, whatever, playing video games.
Yes.
Right.
They're playing RPGs online with their friends.
Right. Yeah.
And some of them never leave the room.
And they don't leave the room. Right.
They don't leave the room. So
it's part and parcel of the COVID culture, right? I mean, before they were of age to drink, they were home. They were homebound. They got used to that. And then
don't fool yourself. They were doing that before.
They were doing it beforehand, but it kind of embellished it and kind of exacerbated it, if you will. Couple that with everything else, I think we're due for a change in that soon. Maybe not this year or next year, but eventually there's going to be a group of, I don't want to say kids. I don't want to pigeonhole 21-year-olds into calling them kids. Compared to us, they're kids, but
no, they're kids.
Younger adults. All right. There's going to be a group of them that as far as that goes, that whole COVID thing or whatever, they're not going to have experienced. They experienced it, but not to that level. And it may start. I hope start to turn. But like weed is, the legalization of marijuana is definitely.
I don't know, John. In that generation, don't get your hopes up too high, because in that generation, I see so much gaming addiction. Where it's just hard for them to pull themselves away from the computer for any amount of time.
Craft beer's not going away by any means. It's a correction. It's leveling out by any means, but it's leveling out not the way it should have leveled out. It's leveling out too far.
Yeah, don't expect that group to just en masse leave their rooms, come out and discover craft beer. It's not bad.
You've got a whole generation. I'll share this. My thought is you have a whole generation over the 9 years we've been open, right? You think we've been through. I always think of generations in 4-year increments, right? Because I think of it in come out of high school, you go to college, right? So it's 4-year terms that you go through. Beer alcohol is being bred out of colleges, right? So you've got this group of people that are getting into their 21-year-old age. They're not drinking in college like we used to, right? I could probably, it would be very hard for me to remember an experience from when I was a kid through my college experience where beer wasn't in that
part of it,
right? Whether it's my grandfather when I was a kid telling me, here's a bottle, you get to have the neck of the beer, and then I'm going to finish the rest of it, right? It's those moments we had when we were younger don't exist today. Beer's not in the vernacular of your life. It's not what it was growing up. Right. It was part of your college experience. It was part of everything in your life. Now kids are told beer's bad. Beer causes cancer. Beer is going to kill you. Alcohol is going to kill you.
Or at least make you fat.
When you get through, it doesn't. I've lost 55 pounds and I drink like a fish. I mean, honestly, I drink beer. I've been drinking beer.
Fish don't actually drink.
Well, it goes through. I'm not getting into the scientific of fish. I don't want to break down fish anatomy and how it flows through the fish.
Just the same way hot food goes through Chuck.
I think it's when you start thinking generations of people, and you think of these 4-year increments. You've got a couple of 4-year increments of kids that are getting into 21 that probably never drank in their life, never had an experience.
That's my oldest son.
And they're going to learn at a tough age, right? They're going to learn in the 20s. They're going to have their first drink, and then they're going to say, wow, beer is actually really good. Oh, whiskey's really good. Bourbon, vodka. They're going to get introduced to these sugary drinks, these mixed cocktails. I just think that we're being bred out, right? Craft beer is being bred out of a generation of kids, and they're going to come back eventually. They're going to realize, wow, this is kind of cool. It's a creative process. I can watch it in my own 22-year-old son who never really grew up as a drinker, but is now becoming a foodie. Yeah. He's starting to understand, wow, I could really, I don't have to eat French toast every day. I could do something that's actually really cool as a food. And, he's making fettuccine Alfredos that are phenomenal. He's going and buying specific cheeses and pastas, and he's putting things together. And that gives me that glimmer of hope that craft beer, bourbons, whiskeys, the
creativity of flavor.
Creativity of flavor, right? I think it will come back, but it's going to be that younger generation that's going to drive all that activity, because our original craft beer crowd 9 years ago is not aging out, but they don't come to the craft breweries as much as they used to. I've watched my regulars shift. The first 5-year regulars are not my 9-year regulars, right? They've kind of aged out of.
Well, it's not. It's aging out and aging in too, Chuck. Right? Because it's the younger. Go back 9 years, 10 years. Go back 15 years if you want, whatever. Right? At that point, right, you had your younger people that weren't yet married or maybe just getting married, and they were going out and they were having fun. They were going to visiting craft breweries and enjoying the craft beer culture. It was new, right. And then they started having kids, so they're not going out anymore, right? Then once the kids are grown a little bit,
fair point,
they'll come back. So it's peaks and valleys.
What I'm hoping is at the point where those people come back, the younger drinkers start coming back and exploring and getting interested again, right?
Right.
Because that's where I found my interest. You find that interest and you kind of get into it. And you start learning and loving what craft beer is. Hopefully, craft beer hasn't shifted so far away from the core. It's nice to see it's not doing so many lactose crazy IPA stuff.
I agree with.
For coming back to craft beer. I that's a great trend. Let's get back to stylistically correct. Let's have a couple of anomalies out there, but if you're going to make a Pilsner, make a really good Pilsner.
Make a Pilsner.
IPA. If you're going to do some lager, Dunkel, make it the best style you can make it.
What do we have on the show with David? I have on the show tonight an English dark mild, a Czech dark lager, and a Munich Dunkel.
Right.
And one of the breweries.
All great styles. If I put 3 of those on tap, I don't know if I could sell 3.
England, Czech Republic, and Germany. We just had tonight. Yeah.
And English ales. Where did English ales go?
I love English ales.
Joe down in Manskirt does an amazing lineup of English ales. Mm-hmm. He really has a really nice portfolio. If I go over to Long Valley and I go to Chilton Mill, he's got a great lineup of lagers. He just does a really good lager lineup. I mean,
Mike does good stuff over there too. Yeah,
he does. Mike does a great job over there. It's just we gotta. I think we have, when the kids start re-exploring and the parents who had kids come back to craft beer, it's going to be a nice explosion for craft beer. But I think we have to stay true. Listen, I talked to 2 breweries this week that are closing down, and over time you start to worry. You're like, God, we're gonna have more and more of these things happening, and it's not a thing.
Has it been announced yet, or is it just something there? No.
I don't do that to people. I just
no. I didn't want you to name names. I just mean, is it just new stuff? It's
some are very shocking. Some are surprising.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for names. I was saying, like, is it stuff we know about already, or is it new stuff that you're saying?
It's just part of the whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't even know what it is.
Right.
But I'll tell you, it's tough with craft beer right now. I think the mixed cocktails,
And cocktails, RTDs, seltzers. Yeah, I mean the Surfsides, the Sun Cruisers, the White Claws, the High Noons. It's taken over everything. It really, really.
I
is.
don't. I think the bigger thing to be concerned about is consumer behavior. People don't drink as much as they used to, or even imbibe or go out to a bar and have a drink. You know, you
You got to leave your house to get to a bar.
They don't leave their house. It's the gaming mentality, Dave. I think you were right on it. I think you got so many people that have so much entertainment in their home they don't need to leave.
This is
And
where
then
they get their endorphins there.
Yeah, they're having fun. It's visually cool. I can watch any movie I want in the house without ever leaving. You almost never have to leave your house, and you miss out on so much of life when you don't go out. I mean, there's so much.
Yeah, there's you need that interaction. You need to meet. I mean, yeah. Do you have to leave your house? No. Should you? Yes.
Well, yeah, and I know people. You get them to leave their house, and they're in the back seat going.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting. There's two trends I think that are going to be indicative of a shift in consumer behavior. One is going to be people get out and walk again, right? That's going to be step one. Hiking, going in the woods.
You're talking to two guys that hike all the time and walk all the time.
But I'm telling you,
But
when you start hearing people
younger
start
generation
camping again, that's when we're going to see a shift in the demographic consumer behavior. Is when people decide I got to get out of my house. Then we're going to start seeing people get back to the little things in life that make them happy. And some people are never going to drink. I think they've been convinced that drinking is going to kill them. It's not. It's really not.
I think my oldest doesn't drink. Well, I think my oldest doesn't drink because he saw it make me fat. It's probably not all beer though, but I'm sure he believes it.
I was going to say I think a little bit of food was involved in that.
But it's lifestyle. I think it's lifestyle change. I'm down 55 pounds since last year.
Good for you.
My lifestyle.
Good for you.
I haven't stopped my drinking. I love my beer. I'm not going to stop drinking beer. I'm never going to say that you have to stop drinking beer to lose weight.
I'm down from this time last year. I'm down 15 pounds.
And
I found
not 55.
I found
15.
it.
Yeah,
15. You found his 50 and 5 and my 15.
No, I think from last year I found 10 of your 15.
All right.
Well, you know what? I guarantee it's not the drinking. It's
lifestyle, and that's another story. John knows the story. Knows I can't get out as much as I used to like to.
And
That's
we all go through those periods, right? We all go through that.
Of course.
It's not a period. It's an age thing.
Yeah,
it's something else entirely. But.
We're not going there tonight.
We're not going there tonight.
Nope.
That's another show.
That's a whole nother show.
That'll be on CNBC
45
Thursday
minutes.
night.
John, we were supposed to be on 45 minutes.
45 minutes, yes.
Every time I come on this show,
damn well the three of us get together and forget about it.
It's not gonna be 45 minutes.
We go from 45 minutes to 2 hours.
I know. Well, we'll wrap up the show by saying three things. One, we'll say Brian Boak had a fourth beer. It's his stout, second running of Monster Mash blended with his English Mild. Nice. It was pretty good. We actually had it the other night.
Yeah, it is. He's sitting downstairs in his man cave.
There you go.
And with Jesse.
With Jesse, yeah, the cute
dachshund.
little dachshund.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has a 15-year-old grandson that is big time into gaming. So, case in point, there you go. Right.
Although he's too young to drink anyway.
He's too young to drink anyway. Well, I mean, Grandpa brewing beer at home.
Have you guys ever done a conversation about when was the first time you had a drink?
Oh yeah.
You guys have gone through that stuff. I didn't.
I was super young, so I mean, my parents, my father, when they built a rec room in the basement when I was in first grade. So take it from there. You know,
I have no idea.
And I always told the story, and Dave has heard this a billion times. I'll tell you really quick. When I was 16. And I had drank before that, but right when I was 16 years old,
this one's kind of a long one.
We had the New Year's. No, it's quick. I'll make it quick. We always had a New Year's Eve party, and which we call it. My father. We were out buying stuff, and he bought me a 6-pack of Molson Golden, right? And I had that in the fridge behind the bar. But I was a bartender that night. I had my cocktail book. most everybody coming up, it was just Jack and Coke or whatever, but everything and whatever else. But anytime they asked me for anything, I went to the cocktail book and I made it for them. And if it was good, I taste it like the book said, taste it with a straw, make sure it's good. Hell, I know what it was fucking tasting like, right? But I'm tasting it, right? But if it tasted good to me, I made myself one. So I'm drinking drinks and I'm drinking my Molson Goldens. I'm 16. My mother looks at my father halfway through the night. She goes, you see what he's doing over there? My father said, yep. She goes, you going to stop him? He says, nope.
So, Chuck, what was your first? When did your parents give you your first drink?
My grandfather was my first beer experience. I was probably, not even 10 yet, but he would always, my grandfather and I were very close on my mother's side, my grandfather. And he taught me things like when I was 5 years old, he taught me how to shoot. I've been shooting my whole life. I shot competitively through college, and I still shoot. I just enjoy the sport of shooting. But I remember my grandfather would have a Miller, and it would be in a bottle, and he'd say, you can have the neck, the rest is mine. And I would drink that little, it was like a shot of beer. It wasn't very much.
Yeah.
It was never enough, it wasn't the damage, it was the bonding moment. It was a really... I'm always going to remember my grandfather. And there's one picture of my grandfather and I shooting this 22 rifle. He had a bolt action 22, and it's one of my favorite moments with him as a kid. And when he passed, he left me that rifle, and I still have that rifle today. From when I was like 5 years old, I think I was like probably 5. So it's quite an aged 22. I don't think I've shot it since I was maybe 7. But those are, and then my next experience after that, after my grandfather, I was 12 years old, Boy Scout camp. My friend and I got a 6-pack of Budweiser, 12-ounce cans, and we drank them. He had 3, I had 3, and I just remember puking my guts up.
Plenty.
Yeah.
There was a bar. There was a bar in Lyndhurst. I grew up in North Arlington. There's a bar in Lyndhurst on River Road there, and I'm not even kidding you when I say this. As long as you were tall enough to reach up and put the money on the bar, you got served.
You have to be this tall to ride the ride.
Right.
Oddly enough, my first drink actually wasn't a beer. My grandmother, I think, gave me my first drink. It was wine. And we lived down in Bricktown at the time.
Right over here.
Bricktown. And it was a place called Mr. Steak. I don't know if you remember that, John, Mr. Steak in Bricktown.
I do remember Mr. Steak in Bricktown.
It wasn't too far from the Bradleys and the Brits.
No, right there.
Yeah. Bradleys and
the Bradleys and the 2 guys.
2 guys. Okay, so it was 2 guys was here, Mr. Steak was here, Bradley's was here, Brits was here. Yep. And yeah, so it was wine that I had for the first time. I don't think I had beer.
That's a very European thing. I remember.
She was British, but British is not really. But that's not the European wine culture, though. The Brits are not a European wine culture.
But in the European culture, you drink. Your family, everybody drinks wine at the
dinner.
At
the meal.
But the funny thing is, that's the only time my grandmother would drink was when they would go to Mr. Steak, and she'd have 1 glass of wine, and I'd get a sip of it.
There you go.
Mr. Steak, obviously, it's not around anymore. Am I?
No. Long time gone. I don't even know what it is now. And my grandfather would not drink at all. And the reason he wouldn't drink is he was half Cherokee Indian, and he on the reservation half Cherokee.
So he didn't drink as a result of that?
Because he would see what firewood would do to all the people on the reservation growing up, how the Indians were just
destroy their lives, whatever.
Absolutely. So he wouldn't drink. So he went over to World War II. He was very popular with all of his friends because they get his beer rations.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
I was just talking. It's funny you say beer rations. World War II. I was just last night, the night before Sunday. It was on Sunday. I was talking to a group of guys that were Korean War veterans, World War II veterans, and we were talking about how the Army would put breweries on ships, and off the coastline of where the battle was, they were brewing beer so they could continue to feed the guys in the field beer during World War II. They keep them fed with alcohol, right?
There you go.
I think keeping the soldiers fed with alcohol is why we have IPAs.
There you go.
There he is. That is true. All right. Events coming up in the summer.
Mount Olive Carnival is the week. It's next weekend. Holy cow! Next weekend. Mount Olive Carnival is
it's here.
Seriously, it's right around the corner. We're going to do the Sussex Fair. It's early in August. We kind of have a break between the carnival and the fair.
Mhm.
Then I think after that, every weekend we have an offsite event. If we put them up on Facebook, we put them up on Instagram, and it's too big of a list, but we go straight through to the end of October every weekend.
Oh, wow.
So we have the sample room going, we have the offsite events going at Ort Farms, Mount Olive, Wharton.
There'll be plenty of farm visits by a lot of people, whether it's Orts or Allsteeds or anywhere else up there.
Oh my God, yeah. We just did Brew at the Zoo Saturday.
It was Saturday, yeah.
Remember Brew at the Zoo?
I do.
Yeah.
I haven't been in years, but yeah.
We went. Vito went up this weekend. He went up Saturday night. We were right outside of the cheetah den.
Right.
So we're right by the cheetahs. We brought King Gambrinus and Sunkissed Citra.
You know,
So we didn't have less than 30 people in line at any time. He said the whole night he was pouring like crazy. He forgot to bring his can opener. We were pouring from cans, and his finger was raw from ripping open cans all night.
Brew at the Zoo is always a fun.
Such a good one.
Always a
what's
fun.
interesting is Brew at the Zoo is where I met Jess.
No, really?
Actually,
Such a good event, right?
John was there, and we went to Cloverleaf afterwards.
Mhm.
Yeah, of
Yep.
course. It's right there.
Yep.
It's immediately.
Uh,
We're doing-
And,
there's
he,
a
and,
Philly
and he's
Zoo.
part of, and I mean, I'm assuming he's still part of it, right? But I mean, Ryan always had like
Stats?
no, a booth at
Oh, Ryan, yeah. He would always cook there, too.
we cook, yeah, from Cloverleaf at the not Ryan Stats,
I don't
Ryan
know if it was
Torchak.
there. I'd have to ask. I'd have to check and ask Vito.
He always cooked at that.
Yeah.
We used to have so much fun at Brew at the Zoo. Philly does one. Now. We're doing that in I think it's like mid-August. They're doing the Philly Zoo event.
Are you distributing him in PA?
Oh yeah, we're down in the Philly area.
You're in the Philly area?
We're out of Philly, so we have 15 counties around Philly, 15 or 20 counties around Philly. So yeah, we're down into Pennsylvania now.
Nice, very
Which
nice.
is cool. Which is hard to believe because you can go 25 miles into the Poconos and we're not distributed there yet, but we're all the way down in Philly.
You're all the way down in Philly. Well, I mean, look,
Working on fixing that
no
right
offense to anybody in the Poconos, but there are more beer drinkers down around Philly than there are in the
There truly are, yeah.
It's
That's
just
why we kind of prioritize Philly
That's
over.
just population density. I guarantee you.
100%,
I
100%.
guarantee you take anybody from the Poconos,
No,
put
no,
against
no.
one person in Philly, they will outdrink.
I'm sure you're right. I'm just saying you
got
gotta.
that right.
Yeah.
You got that right.
But there's one of the for every one of them there is in the Poconos. There's
Well, that's-
130 of them in
at
Philly.
least.
Yeah.
Least.
Well,
It's just
we're
population.
working on expanding distribution. It's a tough time right now. I think
It's a very tough time right now. There's so many. There's so much to go out there. And here's the other thing too. And we'll wrap it up in a couple of seconds. But here's the other thing too. It's not like it was 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Clearly, there's a lot more liquid in general, period, than there was back then. But the liquid that you were competing against back then, if you had good liquid, was not that it was bad, but it wasn't equal to yours. There's a lot of really good liquid around right now. Yeah. And there's some that's not, but there's a lot of really good liquid around right now. And it just makes it all the more tougher. And shelf space and taps are a minimum. And you gotta do it right. You just gotta keep doing your thing.
Well, COVID forced a lot of that, right?
It
COVID
did.
forced
COVID forced a lot of that. Yeah.
You lost on-prem, they took the off-prem stuff, and they started distributing wider and wider. And then next thing you know, you're getting beers you never thought you were going to get.
Yeah, Eddie Topper showed up in New Jersey.
Yep.
Still flies everywhere when it shows up. Yeah, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But you know what? You just got to keep at it.
That's it.
Keep on keeping on, as they used to say 50 years ago.
Yep.
Keep on trucking.
When we were kids.
Keep on. It was a Brady Bunch thing, right? You got
Yeah.
keep on,
keeping on dancing all through the night.
Yeah, all through the night, right?
Right.
That's how old we are.
Oh, for those bell bottoms.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
That and when it's time to change, and Peter's voice changes.
Yeah.
Gosh, classics.
Classics. Of course, we just lost about 3/4 of our audience, but that's
What
beside
are
the
you talking about? The Brady what?
Yeah.
Brady who? Yeah.
Brady who?
Was that a cereal?
Anyway, all right. Yeah, that's the way it goes. But all right, I'm glad you. I'm thrilled to hear you just brewed. Well, I'm saying this for a reason. I'm thrilled to hear you just brewed your Märzen, your Oktoberfest, because obviously you have to, right? But I also, at the same point, am upset because it just started. Summer just started.
Yeah, but you have to brew it now.
In the
Yeah,
beer
no,
world,
not because he
3
brewed
months
it.
ahead.
Just I'm thinking, like in the beer world, and I blame Jim Cook, right?
I blame him too.
That's
Yeah.
some of it.
Seasonal creep is just ridiculous.
Oh,
you know?
pumpkin ales in what? 2 weeks?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Honestly, it's going to be 2 weeks, maybe 3 tops before we start seeing pumpkin ales and Oktoberfest beers on shelves.
Yep. Here it comes.
We're at least 6 weeks to 8 weeks out. I like to let my Oktoberfest sit and lager properly and do its thing. Pumpkin, you know, I swore I'd never do a pumpkin beer. I said when I opened up the brewery, I said we're never going to do a pumpkin beer. Then COVID hit, and I did a pumpkin beer called Never Say Never.
Yeah.
You know, you just because
in honor of James Bond, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Never say never again. Again.
Again.
Brian Poe commented. He said, "I did brew at the zoo so many years ago. Yeah, it was a great time."
Yeah.
And then he said, "The closest they have is Tom Brady."
That's not a bunch. That's just a one.
That's just a bunch. Yeah, it's the Brady bunch, right?
Nice. 7-time Brady bunch.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Anybody wants to find out anything that's in the area or going to be in the area, if you're watching this from another or listening to this from another area, if you're going to be in the Jersey area, the North Jersey area, anything you want to find out that's going on at Jersey Girl or what they're brewing or where they're going to be, just go to, was it jerseygirlbrewing.com?
That it is.
jerseygirlbrewing.com, and of course their Facebook and their Instagram. Check all that out and stop by and see Chuck. Tell him you saw the show, and he will pat you on the back and have a beer with you.
He's not as red in person.
If you come by and you say I watched the show, the whole episode, you gotta make a Brady Bunch reference. That's how you gotta get to the show and say, "Oh, remember that Brady Bunch thing you guys went through?"
Exactly.
I'll buy you a pint.
There you go. I heard it here.
Brady Bunch, Chuck.
You heard it here first. All right. But on that note, we will wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Pandora, Amazon Music Podcast, iTunes Music, YouTube Music, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, CastBox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Chuck, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's an amazing show, as always, with you, sir. Look forward to getting up and having a couple beers with you soon.
So happy you didn't have a meeting tonight.
Yes.
There we go.
There you go. Love it. Awesome. 8.2. Yes. Over 8. Thank you. There you go.
We rate his outros now.
He raises it.
That was a good outro, dude. I don't know how you did that. You did that without even breathing, I think. You got that one breath.
Well, those are the deductions. The breaths are the deductions.
The breaths are the deductions.
I see.
So if I take one breath and get through the whole thing, I can get a 10. But that's not going to happen ever. So
Me too.
not to mention you do the same. This is show number 236. So.
Hey guys, happy show 236.
There you go.
We hit 100.
Yeah, we hit 100. Yeah, remember we did that? That was a bunch of years ago. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So and you were on show number 9.
9.
Really?
9 or 10. 9 or 10. In fact, I'll look right now.
Oh my god.
Double check. You were
We've been
on
around that long together. You know, but it's
I've
always
known you a
like-
lot longer than that.
No, I know, but you said it's always the bait, right? You say, "Hey, Chuck, come on, get on for about a half hour, 45 minutes. We'll talk."
You were on show number 11.
It'll be
You were on show number 11.
2 hours and 35 minutes later.
Oof.
You were on show number 11. That was your
Here we
first
go,
show.
number 11.
You were the second. You were the second guest ever on the Log Room, guys.
Yeah.
And we cannot say the first name of the guy that was the first guest.
Oh, was he really?
He may have been wearing some orange.
You might have been wearing orange
Yeah,
that
I
night.
figured as much. I figured.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great stat. I didn't know that. That's
You were
awesome.
second guest ever, show number 11. The
Do
first
I get
time
a five? Do I get a 5-time jacket?
five times.
Did I
You
get a
are,
five? I think it's been
this is-
5
this
times. I gotta
this is your. Hold on, we keep track. This is
Well,
your.
it depends if we count the launch party.
This, if we count the launch party, this was number 5. If we don't count the launch party, this was number 4.
But Chuck's wife was the star of the launch party.
She was. She was the star of the.
That's
She
a
stole
lot.
the show. She stole the show.
She does.
Chuck never has a second double IPA at home.
She nailed the line.
Killed it. She killed it. All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you so much. You guys are great.
Stick around for 2
Fantastic.
seconds. We'll talk after we sign off. But thanks for coming on the show. We love you coming on. We'll get up and see you soon. Guys, drink. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a happy, healthy, and safe 4th of July. And drink
Don't
a lot
blow
of,
any fingers
and
off.
don't blow any fingers off. And drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you next week, folks.
Alcohol and fireworks don't mix.
They don't. Cheers.
But if they do, have your phones out, please. Take photos.